And the crazy thing about it is, I just redid a tweet on the MCOY Twitter page. So yeah.
All right, so we're finally live, guys. We had a little technical difficulties with my Wi-Fi. I had to reset my computer and my Wi-Fi, and yada yada yada. But I've been super looking forward to this discussion since I thought about it. I was like, all right, I've had the white people panel discussion before, about this. And I'm like, let's really talk about it on a different. Ron thinks that's hilarious, don't he? I had the trailer park version of it,
Oh man!
But I'm sitting here looking at the people, I'm like, wait a minute, we all look the same. This doesn't work. This does not work. And plus, I had made some great connections in Brooklyn on Juneteenth. I got to go watch a panel discussion about Black entrepreneurship, specifically to Brooklyn and New York. Phenomenal people. I'm actually editing some videos tonight and I'm uploading them, but it's all about entrepreneurship and how was it during COVID, 1 or 2% of all PPP loans went to Black entrepreneurs. Yeah, men. Okay, women is 0.0423 or some shit like that percent.
What?
Yeah, man. I was like, oh damn, that's a good number. Yes, there's a 4-person to panel. I've edited some of them clips, man. Good people. The audio is tough because it's in a big room. It's like they had a whole thing outside with music. There's a DJ out there and there's traffic, like entrepreneurs. But it was still cool as hell though, man. And the art, man, I can't wait to show you guys the art. It is amazing. But yeah, I've been looking forward to this because we have some GOP pushback on critical race theory. They're claiming that forcing it into the schools is racist, which I find cute. It's very adorable.
Oh my gosh. It's the epitome of U.S. history. It's history. Basically, we're teaching the correct version of history and calling a spade a spade. No, it doesn't matter what color it is. It's still a spade.
Yeah.
Right. It's still a spade.
Well, and for those that don't know what the hell we're talking about, okay, so critical race theory is a collegiate level, I guess it just history lesson, if you will, and about the true history of things that actually happened, not the Eurocentric whitewashed one, not the Disney World version of it. Like, this is what actually happened. I don't know, kind of like Tulsa should be taught, the Tulsa Massacre, Juneteenth. I even heard about that until 2 years ago. And I actually love history. And I actually do deep dives on Black History Month. I did that a couple years ago. I did one on Black inventors for a whole month. Like, I'm looking for information. Yet I've never heard of Juneteenth, like on a big scale. I know there was a city in Texas that the people didn't know for a while. By the way, just so you know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Don't try to vote unless you can read. Oh wait, it's illegal to read. Never mind. Have a nice life, But like, so I didn't know this stuff, and I'm trying to be informed, and yet, so to me, critical race theory will force them to teach actual history as it happened in the moment. So they're teaching about the let's say the pre-Civil War history. They just mentioned slavery as, oh yeah, there was slavery. Anyway, the railroads were being built, Transcontinental Railroad. They just skip right over that shit as quick as they can. And here's something I'll tell you guys I thought about recently is when I was in middle school, 7th grade, 8th grade history class, or was it biology? I think it was biology or science, whatever. There were 3 races of humans.
Oh,
the humanoid, the negroid, and the mongoloid.
It was humanoid. I thought it was caucasoid.
Oh, sorry.
I think it was Caucasoid.
Yeah, there's 3 human species. And let me tell you the shit I heard, right? I'm in a small town. There's like 2 Black people in the entire school system when I was in middle school. I started out in an all-Black elementary school in Benton Harbor, Michigan, and went to Hartford, mostly poor white people and Hispanic people, right? So we're in middle school, and I remember reading about that. I'm like, wait a minute. 3 different species? That's weird. And I'm like, what's the difference? How can you tell the difference? Well, the negroid has an extra hamstring. I'm like, a what? An extra hamstring?
Oh no!
Make it look stuff.
making shit up. I'm like, why? Where? What do you mean? They go, well, that's why they're faster. I'm like, what?
No.
Because they have an extra muscle. People are fast. Like, but they're fast people of all. What? So that fucked me up. And I just been really thinking about the weird shit I remember as a kid. Now
Oh man.
that was one, and then the it's all 100% racial stereotypes. I'm like, I look back, I'm thinking, wait a minute, extra hamstring. Okay, that's weird. That I just remember that sticking out to me. Thinking back, I was like, oh yeah, that triggered a memory. I was like, they did say some crazy shit in school. Public education. So, guys, that is for the rest of you white people out there listening. That's called systemic racism, taught at the school level.
Right.
So all these kind of things triggered me the ideas. Okay, I really want to talk about this because that shit should never happen. And I guarantee you, there's some fucking hillbillies went to school with that still believe that shit. They got an extra hamstring. God damn it, this is bullshit.
Right. That's competing in the Olympics,
Yeah, check his hamstrings. He's cheating. He's juicing. You know what I'm saying?
Extra muscle.
So there you go. Clearly, because if we were equal, there's no way, right? You know what I mean? That superiority complex.
Right.
Yeah. That's the kind of shit that's been taught. That's why critical race theory is here. It's out of necessity.
Mm-hmm.
Black Lives Matter is here out of necessity. Come on, man. Black History Month out of necessity. LGBTQ month out of necessity because people don't have equal rights still.
Mm-hmm.
And
then
slavery,
bullshit.
Yeah, and slavery never really ended. You just got to go to jail to be a slave now. So I think critical race theory could address this significantly better. And I don't know, how do you guys feel about it being taught at what levels? That's where I'm kind of trying to understand, how could you implement it? I'm not an educator, so what the fuck do I know? But it's a complicated issue, but I'm sure, because the biggest pushback I got is like, you can't teach a 5-year-old kid about critical race theory if they don't even know how to spell their name. I'm like, well, we're teaching them shooter drills before they can read. So that's complicated, right?
Yeah.
So there's basic skills that you could introduce, without being like, this is not some college level course in 5th grade. Just like you don't teach trigonomics in kindergarten. But I don't know. I just kind of want to see what you guys think about that, how it could be implemented in school, or what kind of pushback you guys have heard in your own little bubbles, on this whole thing.
Right. Who wants to go first?
Ron, you can go.
Okay.
Down here.
Geez. I live in Three Rivers, so of course about a 45-minute drive away from Du Bois. And so we know that the area that we live in is very much so strong, proud Republicans of all backgrounds, just proud to be a Republican. And it's like, even still here in the Three River School District, I can see it possibly not being implemented due to the fact that a lot of Republicans, conservatives, strong right-leaning people, they tend to hold a lot of offices. And especially when it comes to like school boards, they hold those offices and they almost go like unopposed. And even then, if they do go opposed, because of the fact that the community itself is so much right-leaning, it's hard to get them out. And so they also become very much, what's the word I'm looking for? Entrenched, incumbent. So it's like, it's hard to remove them out. It's hard to get them out, to get the necessary change to put in. And so even then, it's like, let's just run with the dice and say, hey, they say no, you can't teach critical race theory and everything else. So it's like, so you're basically denying our kids access to U.S. history.
Right.
Basically, you're basically saying that the ugliness of U.S. history never happened. the foulness of U.S. history never happened. The dirty, the grimy, like all of that stuff never happened. But we got the glorious U.S. history, the perfect U.S. history, the clean and pristine U.S. history, which is like we all know is bullcrap. We see it. We wake up and we see it's bullcrap, you know, and it's like, no, we've been taught this for far too long, and it's time now that we tell the truth about U.S. history and come clean and say, yes, the United States is a jacked up country. It is, just like any other country around the world. It's jacked up. But at the same time, we're finally now, after, I don't know, 400 years, now coming out and saying, yes, we screwed up. We're sorry. We admit that we've done some wrong, and we're going to try to fix it. You know, the best way, hold on, fix it the best way we can. Got to put that in quotes because they're going to try to clean it up and still not do it. But, you know, so that's in my little area. That's what's pretty much going on. It's like they're talking about it, but at the same time, it's more so in a negative tone. And like I said before, because of the fact the political structure here has been put in place for such a long time, it's hard to try to get Democrats, liberals, left-leaning people to try to take over these offices and even have enough people to show out and vote for them, you know?
Right. That is a big problem here in Southwest Michigan, or just West Michigan altogether. Let's just this entire side of the state. Just anything that's not Detroit is red. That's pretty much how it is in Michigan, for real. Just Detroit has so many people. The surrounding areas is pretty densely populated.
Yeah.
That's the only reason Michigan is a blue state, is because of Detroit and the surrounding suburbs.
Okay.
Yeah.
It really is. You take your ass up north 1 hour, rebel flags. I'm telling you.
Yes.
I'm like,
north, but okay.
I mean, we sure are far north for a Southern heritage, you know.
Listen. It's funny you said that too, boys. And I don't mean to cut anybody off, but I just want to make a case in point. I think it was last year, either last year or the year before that. We went up to Traverse City, me and the missus for anniversary. We're going up north. We're thinking we're going to be in Trump country and we're going to see like red flags and everything else. Man, when I tell you, Traverse City by far is probably the most liberal city in Michigan.
Yeah, next to Detroit. Mm-hmm.
Yes, next to Detroit.
Yeah. It's the biggest city up north, period. That's why.
And even still, it's like, I almost felt like as though I was back in Colorado Springs because I saw like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marijuana shops on one corner. Or just on one street. One section of the street, you got one here, you got one here. You drive down a little bit more, you got another one there, another one there. I'm like, dang, like
free market, baby.
Like, go for it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
it's wild. What are you seeing? What are you seeing in Florida, Elle, in your community? I hate to ask, honestly, but
honestly, don't really know. Like I can't really say that any of my friends have been, we haven't really just like spoken about critical race theory or anything really. Even though my friends are pretty liberal. I live in the most blue county in the state. And so
Dade County?
Broward County, actually.
Broward, oh my bad.
Yeah.
Broward. Gotcha.
Most people would assume Dade because of Miami, which makes sense, but it's actually Broward, which is weird because like what is in Broward really? But we're just really liberal here. So
yeah.
I would assume like Broward County would be very for like teaching critical race theory. But like just how the state is set up and like how corrupt it is, like and I'm pretty sure, I think DeSantis already, tried to like axe that anyway. And it's how like Florida Supreme Court is red. Like, there's only like one like Democrat elected state official. And she's running for governor now. And Nikki Fried.
Nikki Fried. Yeah, I actually reached out to her. I'm gonna try and get her on.
Oh, cool.
Nikki Fried and the guy that's running against
Marco Rubio.
Marco Rubio, yeah, Mr. Alan Ellison. And I'm also reached out to, I confirmed one with him, and I confirmed one with the guy in Georgia, the black man from Georgia who's running against Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Okay.
And he has a cowboy hat.
Yeah,
I'm fascinated by that shit. I'm like, what? Okay.
I mean,
I love it.
That's the South for you.
They kicked him out of the American First rally. Like, they literally booted and said, you got to go. They kicked him out. I can't wait to talk to him.
Wow. Was it? He was there? Like, and they were like, no.
I don't know, man. I got to hear more though from the source. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Big ass 10-gallon hat, man. It was amazing. I was like, whoa. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I've confirmed interviews with all three of those people. I can't wait to dig into the South a little bit. But like Miami, let's think about Florida. They have a ban on a ban they're trying to push through right now on transgender bathroom bill and all that kind of shit, man. I mean,
no, like the fucking governor, he put a ban for like transgender kids to not do like sports.
Right.
On June 1st, the first day of Pride Month, he decides to sign this thing, and I'm like, dude, first of all, like it's like such a massive waste of time for like. You know, like that shouldn't be up on the fucking like state level, governor level problem. You know, that should just be like within the teams for one. And two, like I highly doubt that that's like a thing that's common. You know, like first of all, like okay,
it's less than 1%.
Exactly, less than 1% of people are transgender anyway. Mm-hmm. It's not like all of them do sports. So
it's not like this bunch of alphas running around kicking everybody's ass in football or something.
Right.
You know, like it's a minority within a minority.
Right.
Like, oh, these 5 people. Fuck, I'm gonna make state legislation to make sure those 5 people.
Exactly.
We should be using time and resources to actually get stuff working for people. Like I don't know, like that building that collapsed.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, at least the transgender athletes can't compete if they live in that building. Fuck them, you know? Like, that's how weird and backwards this shit is down here. They're probably thinking I hope those transgender athletes lived in that corner. You know, like, that's how goofy it is down there. I'm just dumbfounded by the ignorance of leadership there.
I know. Like,
I was afraid to ask you, like, how's it going in Florida? Because I know it's a shit show, you know?
Yeah. It's, you know, it's sort of like ironic that the building fell during like infrastructure week. But
oh wait, the one that started by Trump in 2016, or which infrastructure week are we talking about?
I don't know. I heard it was infrastructure week.
He always had infrastructure week.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't. I just was like, oh, it's infrastructure week, and then I hear it.
Yeah, it's because they come to an agreement on a bill in the Senate. You know, that happened a couple of days ago, and then bam, down goes the building, and 100-some people are still missing in that rubble.
Yeah, and I think it's confirmed like 10 or 11 people have died.
Yeah,
which is
yeah, they're not finding survivors.
Huh?
You know what I mean? Like they're not finding survivors right now. It's been too long.
Yeah, I know.
It
fell down, I think, on Thursday.
Yeah, and here it is. It's Monday.
Yeah,
so it's not a rescue mission. This is a recovery.
I just heard something on the radio about that from the mayor of Surfside, saying he was kind of pressed on that point. He was like, "No, this is 100%, rescue mission. We have the resources. We're optimistic. XYZ." But
thoughts and prayers, baby. Thoughts and prayers.
Like it's possible, like, but I just know that, especially like if you're living on a condo in the beach, you're most likely older. I think it's predominantly like Hispanic and Jewish population over there. So they're probably like, grandmothers, grandfathers. Well, like
that's even worse, man. I mean,
there might be like some families, of course, but it should be like an older population, probably like, retired.
Yeah,
most likely living over there. So
yeah,
it's even sadder. And it happened at like 1:30 in the morning when everybody was just asleep.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden. No, it's absolutely tragic. And
Yeah.
there
I
might
did
be people alive, but I feel like by this point, like they would have breathed in so much like dust and very little.
asbestos and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, I'd still hold out for hope, but there might be some miracles, but it's just sad and tragic.
But that's what it would be. A miracle is something that defines the odds, right? Defies the odds. And that's what this is going to be. 4 days is a long time to be buried under rubble. First of all, dehydration alone, you're dead.
Right.
You're actively dying within 3 days. So it's just not. Anyway, I don't want to be doom and gloom, but
right.
But yeah. So Toby, what are you hearing in the Great Northeast in your neighborhoods?
So I haven't definitely have not heard anything, even among my friend group of people that I go out with who are majority like Black, maybe like a lot of African people, but I haven't really heard much, just like among like friend conversations. And then I know in the news, I think there was someone that was pushing back against critical race there. I don't remember if this was like an elected Republican official in the state, or it may have even been some newsletter, like some like conservative, like Washington Examiner or Hillsdale College, who was trying to make an appeal to Massachusetts. I mean, Massachusetts is a very, very blue state. And, we'd have a Republican governor, which is kind of an anomaly, but he's like a very liberal Republican. I mean, you kind of have to be in a state like Mass. So I'm pretty sure. I mean, I haven't followed all the statements that he's put out, but like, he's definitely worked like with like a lot of Black people in the state to, try to get better resources for COVID, looking at disparities, vaccine rollouts, whatever. If anything, he's more fiscally conservative when it comes to things, trying to like oppose certain tax increases or oppose budget shortfalls. But I don't know if I would see any pushback from like his administration on critical race theory. I think Republicans are pretty non-significant when it comes to the state house. And I just don't remember hearing about critical race theory in Mass. I feel like maybe there was something that came up somewhere, but it's not a thing. Yeah, no, not really. In Maryland, where I grew up, I did see something. It wasn't really around critical race theory, but it was something with Maryland, like the governor's race, where again there's a Republican governor in a pretty blue state, and he's term limited. So I guess there were people running, and one of the guys did say that he was very pro like equity. He was gonna focus on racial equity, closing the racial wealth gap, and he wanted to be the first state in the country to like really close the gap. And there must have been a mention of like education as well and like critical race theory, but he was like a more progressive Black candidate from Baltimore who never held elected office. He was I've maybe heard his name before, but he was involved in the nonprofit space and private space, and I guess he'd been pushed to run for something before. He always resisted, but now he's like, I'll jump in. So if I find more info about him, I might like post it in the chat, but I don't really know much about Mass. I really can't say. Like, I don't know. It's just we kind of chill and do our thing. Mass is not what you would consider maybe the most diverse state, but Boston actually, as a population, as a percentage, has more Black people than Chicago or Houston even, which was surprising. Like Boston is close to 25% Black, which is like Houston's like 20%. Chicago might be like 20%. Obviously, those are massive cities, so that's why there's just so many Black people. But Boston, which is not as big, has a bigger percentage of Black people, and I think I also heard that like the public school children population, when you look at non-white, especially Black and brown, could be even up to 80%, or at least it's over 50. So when it comes to like, and that's actually a phenomenon across the country. I didn't realize that there's a lot more Black and brown children than there are adults, like in the public school system. And so like Mass, you're going to have like white people very much in the minority in the school system, but then in the teachers might be like 70 or 80% white. And so I'm not sure how they're reconciling like, our workforce that isn't necessarily is not as diverse. And I mean, do they have the background? Do they understand? Can they have those conversations with children and the parents in the school systems? And I'm not sure because I'm not from Mass. I didn't grow up in the school system here. And even Maryland, the school system, I'm not really kept up with. So I'm not quite sure what conversations are happening, but I think it is interesting that like you're going to see much more diverse student bodies. And so like someone's going to have to get with the program somewhere at the educator level and the state level. Like they can do all this bills or whatever the heck they're, the outrage and the concern, the concern trolling. Like I feel like there's like parents who've come up, and I don't remember what state it was. I think it was Ohio, where there was like some random districts where critical race theory is not being taught at all, but these parents still came to like the school board to express their concerns. And I'm like, where are you getting these concerns from about? I
know you're
backwards, but
yeah. Ohio is, first of all, go blue and fuck Ohio State.
Yes.
I gotta put that out first and foremost. Holler at your boy. I don't give a damn. But Ohio is about as bass backwards as they come. Let's be real. You were right, Toby. I actually saw this video of a school board meeting. They had to cancel it. And they're like, we don't even teach it here. What are you talking about? They will not teach us that white people are evil. I'm like, nobody. Like what? It's like they're creating a thing to be mad about, just creating it, just fabricating it to be mad, to double down. And this is another one of those talking points that I think they're going to double down on when it comes to the midterms. They're grasping at straws. They're like, critical race theory, we can rally troops. White people, we're not all bad. I didn't have a slave. I didn't own a slave. I was born with nothing. When they was handing out white privilege, I guess they ran out. All the bullshit, typical stuff I've heard. So I think there's going to be a rallying cry. The MAGA bullshit is going to be turned into the anti-critical race theory bullshit. They're not going to teach us to be racist. They're going to be racist against us. And that it's fear.
Yeah.
It's another fear tactic. Because in 2050, Caucasians will be the minority in the United States of America at the current birth rates. So they're scared to fucking death of not being the dominant race, because it doesn't really exist. And I really hate using that word race, because it doesn't exist in science. There is no such thing. It's a social construct, There's culture, but there's like, I don't know, man. The terminology, these labels drive me fucking nuts.
I guess it's just one of those things where it's like, I mean, like it exists within the context of what we're talking about. Like,
yes,
everybody knows
the ramifications. There's real fucking ramifications.
Right.
Exactly. Melanin, just flat out melanin is a ramification. But I gotta say, man, when I was I'm telling you what, man, Juneteenth, I was just so happy to be in New York. So I got to go to Brooklyn.
Oh yeah,
dude, fucking Juneteenth celebration. I was so happy, and we spent some money, and I got some super hot Jamaican rub for my food.
Ooh.
Okay, nice.
They had a bunch of entrepreneurs there. And this lady had chips that were seasoned. She had like 4 different concoctions she made. And they got, started at trailer park level heat, Then I'm just being fucked up about it. But mild to moderate to hot to watch yourself, like when I call it watch yourself. So I like the heat now. But yeah, Brooklyn was nice. I was hoping I ran into Jay-Z. Didn't happen. It didn't happen. It was super cool to just be in Brooklyn on that day when they made it a federal holiday. It was a really cool moment. And my girlfriend got compliments on her skin, so she was happy about that. That was cool. Another woman actually said, "You have such nice skin."
Yeah, I've seen pictures of her.
I was like, that's not by accident. Like she has a routine, like holy moly. The skincare game is on point, man. Like I might use lotion on my elbows, like I'm typical white guy basic shit when it comes to lotion, I'm like Bill Burr. I'm like, why is everybody putting on so much lotion?
Joke, that was hilarious.
It's fucking hilarious. She scratched my arm and snow come off, But yeah, it was
sorry to cut. It was just my roommate freshman year who was a white guy. I think like when I was putting on lotion, he was like, "Wait, what are you doing?" Like And I don't think he was being ironic. He was like asking me about like putting on lotion. I was like, yeah. I mean, it's pretty like obvious if I don't put on lotion, you kind of don't have a choice. You get roasted by the kids. I mean, this was college, but you still could get roasted. And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
yes, you just don't want your skin to be dry. I was like, yeah, put on lotion. Don't you? Question mark. Put on lotion.
It's the funniest thing, right? Like you're like, wait a minute, this is not universal. Yeah, man. That whole joke that Bill Burr does is hilarious about that. And he talks about like he poses this as like every white person should have a black friend that teaches them about lotion, and every black guy should have a white friend to teach them about buying weapons that are registered or some shit. He's making a joke about how the rich people, the athletes and all that stuff, the rappers, whatever, have guns, but they're not registered. He's like, you got all this money, you got to register that shit, man. That's 15 to 20. And he's like scratching at the same time while he's the white guy saying he's like itchy because he's all dry and shit. But yeah, I love those kind of jokes because they're innocent, but really a lot of truth to it, you know, when it comes to like I said, I learned a lot about let's be specific, black hair and skin routines, the care, different type of care altogether, skin and hair. So when we're little, you say tonight, it's not like you never noticed those. You just go, everybody goes get in the shower, you're all nasty, whatever. But as I got older, we had a friend named, I had a friend from Dowagiac, about 20 minutes away. His parents died, and he came and stayed with us in the trailer park. His name was Calvin Lee. His senior year in high school, he stayed with us. And this is back when House Party came out too, just so you know. We watched that a bunch. I could do the dance with him, right? Come on. We do that shit at school. But yeah, I learned a lot. He's like every single morning, he had the Bobby Brown fade, man, just flat as shit, little ink to it, little lean to it, you know. And he's being there every morning, he's like picking his hair, he's like, here we go. I'm like, it looks the same. You know, he's like, no, there's a little one. Like, he kept just nipping it. I'm like, I was like, damn, you being very specific about that hair, bro. And he's like, yeah, man, shit. You know, then I saw him, you know, baby oil and shit. Like, you're putting baby oil in your hair? I was like, what the hell? You know, that shit shocked me because my hair was oily naturally.
Right.
Not a good look, right? Like, get out the shower, sweat, you're like you're homeless, you know, instantly. Look, you've been at the beach all day or some shit, you know. I had oily, limp, just no body. But you know, the shower routine, the shower cap. I'm like, what you got that thing on your head for, man? Like, all that shit blew my mind. I'm like, you don't wash your hair every day, you know? Like, I had so many questions, you know, so many learning things. I'm like, damn, you know, so most people don't get that experience that look like me because most people don't have it. Now it's different because, like to Toby's point, there are so many people that because interracial relationships are normalized, becoming more and more normalized. My kid at school, Caleb, his graduating class a couple years ago, probably like 20% biracial, another 20% is black people, like just whatever you want to call that fucking thing, right? Whatever it is. But there's a significant portion of the school was black and brown, period. It's damn near 50-50. And I was like, huh, okay.
Yeah, I've been hearing that now that a lot of kids are like, you know, they're like biracial. And,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if that's what the country's going to look like, we should teach like that, right? Like, I mean, come on, man.
It makes sense. It makes sense because it's like, okay, now you're almost forced. Literally, you're almost forced to teach in a way where it includes everybody. You're gonna have to because there, like you said. There's going to be a point in time where there's not going to be a big majority. If anything, it's going to be a huge combination of black and brown. So anybody that's pretty much non-white, and then of course you have your whites, and they're going to be the quote unquote minority. And again, hearing that and having somebody hearing that is like, you know, no, that's not going to happen. It's like, well. I mean, back in like 20, I think it was like what 2016 or 2012. I read an article. I think it was through BuzzFeed. Like some years, it was like almost like 10 years ago. Basically, what they said was this: they did like a diagram as far as what kids were going to look like, like in 2050. And a lot of them were starting to look more black than actually white. And they were saying that because a lot more children or a lot more of the parents, they were starting to like date outside of their race. Right. And a lot of them were marrying, non-white people. And so gradually you see how the color schemes were going from like brown, or not even like a brown, like you could tell they got some color. And right. Then as you keep looking at the kids, you see like the color was progressively becoming a little bit more evident, to the point where it's like, man, they look like a light-skinned black person.
Right. Yeah, a high yellow, as they say.
Yeah, but they're not. But at the same time, they're not really like all the way black. Like they have a black parent and a white parent, or whatever the case may be. But that's what was going to happen. And so, and again, it's like now you're basically going to have to structure the whole curriculum to center around, okay, this is what America was all about. America was an actual melting pot.
Yes.
And America had a bunch of cultures that came in. We're not just going to learn about just this one specific culture. No, there's a bunch of cultures that help make America what it is. And you're going to learn about it.
And by the way, some were enslaved. We committed genocide to an entire native cultures. We made it illegal to speak your own native language on your property. Like, that's the shit we need to teach. Like, hey, man, this is why the Native Americans demanded in court for so long for sovereign nation status, to be self-regulated and self legislated as well. Because it's a large community here where I live at of the Pokagon tribe of the Potawatomi Nation.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, big time. We got like 4 casinos. They got, man, they're kicking ass.
But of course.
Yeah, but that's why they got sovereign nations, so they could have stuff to generate income. They had to remove themselves from the current federal system that exiled them. They said, well, fuck your system then. Then we'll make up our own rules and we'll flourish. And that's what they're doing. I think that's a form of reparations that has worked out for the Native Americans, but it won't make up for what's happened. Like, the language has been destroyed. The culture has been destroyed. Yeah. Specifically for the Pokagon tribe, there was 3 women that still spoke the native language when they made it. They stopped making it illegal to speak their language. They almost, like, these ladies were old.
Wow.
And those three specific women, I think they said, in the Pokagon tribe, in the Potawatomi Nation, that saved their language to teach to the kids.
How disgusting to make it illegal to speak your own language.
Well, same thing with the slavery. Right. Damn name.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I love about ancestry too, is you can find out, like, where did my people actually come from. If that's something that's curious to you, like, at least you have access to that information now. It doesn't just stop in the 1800s, just like, and you're like, most people's last names were just given to them by a farm. Like, oh, you lived in this county? Well, then that's your last name. Or this person's last name. Oh, you picked Rice and your ass's name is Rice. Whatever it is, it's kind of like that. Basic stuff, like Smith, but yeah. So I'm fascinated by that stuff, but that stuff's not being taught. I learned more about real history after school.
Right.
I got it from YouTube University, is what I call it, like a real education and watching panels and reading a damn book. There's a book called Critical Race Theory. I'm actually trying to get a hold of that on audiobook. On the first, I get a new book. So I'm going to actually read the audiobook of Critical Race Theory by, I can't remember her name. But I want to know more information on this. That way, when I stand on that hill, I'll have a weapon in my hand, which is a book information. Right. But that's what I think all people should be doing. Again, this is a new topic for me specifically, but I just want to learn more about it. But the biggest question I have now is, why does someone need to push back against it?
I was sort of just thinking
You know?
of that, like, like, what is the big fear? Because, now that, like, a lot of people know about the Tulsa Race Massacre, it's not like, I mean, it's not like white people are suddenly hating themselves and, I don't know, going batshit insane. I don't know what they're going to think, like what would happen if people learn the actual history. All I've ever heard from white people, black people, everybody is, why didn't they teach us this in school? That's always what they keep saying. That's what everyone keeps saying. Like, why didn't I learn this in school? I want, like, this sounds like I would have liked to learn this in school, but it's not like anything crazy has happened, So I don't know what they think the kids are going to do. It's just disgusting to think and to admit that it's probably it is just to keep white supremacy alive, just to make it this false belief that white people are, or perfection, that they can do no wrong, and if they do something wrong, it's not really that bad, and it's just like a one-off sort of thing, and
the tone deaf, man.
Yeah, it's it's hard to convince people that white supremacy is bad for everybody, including white people.
Yeah, that's my biggest fear. One of my concerns, I won't say my biggest fear, but one of my concerns right now is this is going to be used as a recruiting tool for the KKK. For the white national, whatever. And be like, they're going to try and breed us out. They're going to try and educate us out. They're going to try and make us the bad people today. We didn't go back to the past type of thing, right? So I can see this as something they're going to weaponize once again. The vocal minority will recruit from the disenfranchised or the whatever. It's what they do, like that's how they get their numbers, is through, like, the Charlottesville thing was a 100% demonstrative. It was performative. Screaming the Jews will not replace us. Really? Are we still on that shit? And so I'm worried about specifically white nationalists, Ku Klux Klan, neo-Nazis. It's coming back around, I feel like. And it's like, now they're going to get another talking point of critical race theory. They're trying to brainwash our kids and that's their new verbiage. They're trying to indoctrinate the children to think that white people are bad. I'm like, have you read the book? Have you, what I mean? Like, that's what's really frustrating. Like, you don't know what you're talking about, yet you want to demonize it because Tucker Carlson said so,
But they know. I feel like the right especially definitely knows how to just easily manipulate their base. Like,
they're huge on messaging.
Right, exactly. And the thing about the Republican marketing machine, everyone is consistent constantly all the time. Like, no matter who you listen to, whether it's Ben Shapiro, Crowder dude, like whomever, they're all exactly the same. Like, they say pretty much all the same messaging. They might be like a little bit of tweaks here and there, but the messaging is still pretty much the same.
Well, I think that's because they don't have a lot of messages.
Facts.
It's not hard to remember 3. If you give me 3 talking points, I'm good. And if they're all based upon fear and hate and division, simple. That's a simple formula. Other people, they are against us. Blah, 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 blah. It's easy to stay on message, and the message is very simple. It's fear and division. So that's why I think
like, one of their messages is always they're trying to silence us, they're trying to quiet us. This is not what the mainstream media is trying to talk about. I'm like, y'all are the mainstream media now. You guys have like over 1 million subscribers, like tens of millions of views. Like, a lot of people are watching you. That sounds like mainstream to me.
They dominate Facebook, which is the funny thing about the whole social media complain about, like, conservative censorship. And I think your state, Al, just had I actually missed it until I just saw an article earlier today that apparently Florida was like, all right, we're gonna sign a bill that bans tech companies from censoring conservative viewpoints, and that thing is going straight to the Supreme Court. But like, I don't know, you're gonna compel a social media platform to like compel speech. So that's going to the Supreme Court. But that's like
it's a waste of time because it's
that's
like
communism. That's communism.
It is communism. Like, it's like, how can you even like moderate this and control it?
So you want the government to control speech?
That's communism, right?
But then, like, when you look at Facebook, I think it's something like even when you look at some of the most like popular trending things, a lot of it is like conservative backlash to either transgender issues or whatever. So like Facebook seems to actually be a very dominating like force for more conservative. I don't really see much of that now because Facebook has changed the algorithms. You see more stuff in your friend groups. They had to make some changes after the 2016 election, but it's like just from the revenue and like what's popular, I'm pretty sure a right-wing club is much more dominant on Facebook, which is so weird that like there's this like, oh, you know, we're being censored XYZ, but like they have a pretty strong platform. They can do it and say whatever with not that many consequences. So, you know, I just had to bring that up because of the point of like claiming that we're being like our speech is being suppressed or like we're being put down or whatever. But it's like, I mean, this is like society kind of moves towards this way in general, more liberal, progressive, or whatever you want to call it. More like, so it's not like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know what they really think is going to happen. They're just kind of being left behind maybe by how things have progressed and what people are trying to focus on and like shine a light on with the past.
Yeah.
So,
do you guys know who this is? Ivan Villa?
No.
Yeah, I don't know you, bro. Can't bring you in. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, I apologize.
You might be a troll and put porn on my shit and get me in trouble. So don't know you. Sorry, bro.
That is true.
Now, if you want to talk about this another time, hit me up. I'll be more than happy to do it. I've been burnt in the past by motherfuckers, and I ain't with it. This is a specific topic, and they're here for a specific reason. This is the MCOY group. Just so you guys know. Okay, let's also. I didn't do a proper intro. Oh, you know what? I didn't do. Man, that's fucked up of me, man. I just got into. Let's talk. Let's talk.
Let's talk. 3 random black people online, and
they have names too. Oh, look at Toby. Critical race to the top. God damn it. You always have the funniest names, Toby. I'll tell you shit.
Oh, I didn't even look at it. Y'all actually had real. Well, I guess since I am on someone else's channel, maybe I should.
Right? Yeah. If this was our channel, Toby, then
you always have a different name every stream.
Yes, he does.
Because when I was trying to look for your name, it's Nigerian, right?
Yeah.
You said Nigerian, yeah. So I was like, wait a minute, I know his name's Nigerian, so I'm looking for specific spelling. I'm like, which one was it? Because I follow a couple people with the same Toby with a different last name on Twitter. I typed in Toby and I got all those other ones. I'm like, shit, is one of these? And I was like, I wound up tagging the wrong one. Then I had to go through MCOY's channel and I went through you guys and I looked at all the YouTube. I was like, his name's different every time. It's never his damn name.
Oh yeah, I never really put my username on the streams. It's because I didn't.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I saw the post that you tagged or that it was a different username tagged in, but I didn't realize you also tried to DM that account. So that explains. But it's,
that person could come on at any moment.
But I would also recommend.
It was like some page. It looked like an actual organization when I looked at that tag.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But also, I would suggest you guys in your about page put your guys' social media links in there so people can find you individually too.
Again,
on your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You usually put that on the.
Usually I do.
Yeah.
I go back and do it again.
No, in the actual your channel itself, you can go to the about page at the very end.
Oh.
There it's always there. You don't have to keep including in the description box. It's just in the about page.
Gotcha.
Yep, that's easier there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Toby, you're a tough one to hunt down, man.
Yes. And it's funny too because I saw the picture, like, yeah, that's Toby. Then I got to look, I'm like, wait a minute. And I glanced like, that's not him. I'm like, holy crap. Like,
fucked up. But then I saw that it was Toby, Tobe, or not Toby. 2 different Tobys, man. That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it is what it is with the username. I couldn't get name spelling has changed over the years, and that Toby or not Toby is also a very hard name to find. Which is why I had to put easy at the end of my username. But
you damn millennials and your names. I give my girlfriend a hard time. She's a millennial too. Hers is Diane.
That's not bad.
Yeah, she likes it.
Yeah.
I was like, why don't you just do Diana? She goes, Diana. Like, yeah. I was like, but your last name? She goes, there's more than one Diana with my last name. I was like, really? Damn. She goes, it's a big world out there. I'm like, yeah, it is. But that's why I did mine specific to Mindful Skeptics, because it was the only one out there. So I did the SEO on all platforms, make sure it wasn't taken. Then I said, okay, I'm gonna take it all. It's just easier that way for me. But yeah. So anyway, guys, sorry, that's L from MCOY, Ron from MCOY, and Toby from MCOY. Melanated Council of Yang. I'm pretty sure I put all your guys' links in the description box. Yeah. All their Twitter isn't. Wait a minute, Toby's might not be right in the description box. So,
well, it's
probably not right. Well,
I'll have to put the proper thing. It's all good.
Oh, damn it.
Don't worry, we will redirect you to the right one.
Yeah.
Oh, you got troll.
Okay,
I was gonna troll. Nice try, brother.
At least he admitted it. I respect that.
Yeah, at least he was open. So
yeah.
Which I think he's full of shit because he probably wasn't. I thought you're trolling, so I think you're full of shit.
Gonna troll.
A true troll wouldn't admit it.
I know.
Like, no, I went to middle school with you. My name is Timmy, or some bullshit. Anyway, back to critical race theory. That's my biggest critique is people like Ted fucking bootlicking Cruz is out there like making new hashtags for ban critical race theory and da. And I'm like, man, get the hell out of here, that bullshit. And another one is what's his name? Lindsey Graham. All the classic bootlickers are there.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where the reason people are against it kind of shows their hand. It makes them show their hand.
In fact, I am so happy you found us, because I would have messaged. Mish is a regular. We love Mish.
Yeah.
But I was afraid. I was like, man, we're on, and Mish is not going to know we're on, and I didn't get the chance to post about it earlier. But here we are.
Yeah.
Mish is a faithful one.
Yes.
Mish is a faithful one.
Yes.
Well, the problem is you guys do your live streams on Sundays at 9 p.m., right?
No, it's
Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. What am I thinking of Tuesday?
We went to Sunday once with Humanity First Movement, but no, we were Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Okay, Tuesdays.
We've always been Tuesdays.
Because when you guys do your live streams at 9 p.m. Eastern, that's when I usually do my stuff at 9 p.m. Eastern too. So I got one tomorrow at 9 p.m. myself with the.
Right.
I remember.
Yeah, I have a transgender female new Las Vegas City Council candidate coming on tomorrow.
Nice.
Who has UBI on her platform. So it doesn't really matter at City Council, but still, it's normalizing at the lower levels. Good ideas and policies should trickle up. So it starts at the bottom. We got to work our way up. So she has a winnable race in a pretty big city. That's tomorrow, man. Yeah, it's just wild, man. I love doing this. I'm back in the groove now. I got interviews getting scheduled. I'm, the trickle up, focusing on the news and shit. We gotta get you back.
Yeah.
Toby, Ron, y'all gotta start. We gotta cycle you guys in there, man.
Hey,
I gotta DM you so I can actually
I can DM you.
That guy right there. You got to get that man on first before I get back in rotation. Get that man on.
My life is chaotic a lot of the time, but I will have our one-on-one. I'll make sure you can message me on Twitter, and we'll go from there.
Now I got you. Look for the easy at the end. That's what's up. But yeah, Vaughn says, "Can you guys move around your live stream server?" That's tough, bro. It's 3 people, 3 to 4 or more. when you guys have Dr. Jermaine Johnson just dropping it out the blue.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I love it. I love when he does that.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love
every
that.
now, honestly, every now and then we'll probably get like Erica who may jump on, and also Jeannie too, who just jumps on randomly, like for real. Like y'all just took like 5 minutes just to come on, like bet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's like on the Trickle. I'm trying to do like, so every Sunday and Thursday we do news, and I make clips every day, so I keep the algorithm fed yum with a new clip, whatever, right? Yeah. But then on Mondays I usually do discussion panels like this, and last week we did one on capitalism versus socialism versus communism, because we were all having a discussion at one time about 2 weeks before that. I was like, you guys can't just say capitalism is evil, I was like, what are you gonna replace it with? Well, you gotta get rid of capitalism. I was like, but replace it with what? You have no plan. It's like saying oxygen sucks. What are you going to replace oxygen with? It doesn't work. You have to have a replacement plan. You can't, like quitting cigarettes. You got to have some other kind of addiction to fulfill that need, to tickle that itch, and to keep the economy going. You can't go capitalism squash. We're going straight communism. It doesn't make sense. Straight socialism. It doesn't make sense. Like a hybrid is better. So what does that look like? So we had a whole discussion panel where 3 of the 6 people, or three of the 5 people were, I actually read the audiobook. I listened to the audiobook of Noam Chomsky's Communist Manifesto. Not Norm. Is it No. Is it? Yeah.
Karl Marx.
Marx. There you go. Marx. Yeah. Not Chomsky.
Oh, Chomsky is still he's alive.
He's still alive, man. Yeah.
Temporary guy.
Yeah. He's awesome. He's getting old though, man. It's gonna be a sad day when he goes. But yeah, I listened to the audiobook of the Communist Manifesto by Marx, and got an understanding of it. Then we had a panel, and I was like, all right, so so we're trying to have those types of chewy, bubblegummy kind of just almost disagreements,
right?
Civil discourse on Mondays, panels, stuff like this. Like, what the hell's going on? Just trying to figure shit out on Mondays. But yeah, we're trying to have more rotations and panel discussions, so Mondays are another one. I always try to stay 9 p.m. Eastern. That way it's just predictable for everybody.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, we need more representation.
Agreed.
We got our normal rotation right now. Honestly, guys, I'm gonna tell you the truth. TikTok's where it's at right now. TikTok is banging.
That's where you get a shit ton of views.
I had one video get 250,000 views.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell's going on? Like I woke up in the morning and my phone was had 99 plus thingies. I'm like, oh shit, what happened? And just that one video popped. I was like, God damn! And it went on for like 3 weeks of just constantly buzzing for a couple weeks. Man, it was ridiculous. But that's but the thing is on TikTok is the algorithm is friendlier.
Oh, okay.
It's friendlier. And there's a lot of great political activists and thinkers on there, man. It sounds like a stupid idea, but it's not. I was very skeptical. So like TikTok, the shit the kids are all fucking dancing on, Yeah, the same place you jack around and dance and shake your ass is also people, think.
Yeah, they learn a lot of stuff too.
Hell yeah.
I feel like it's like Reddit for videos almost, for sure. Like the attention span of Reddit, where at least how I keep my Reddit, it will be like, oh, here's some news. Here's a picture of a hot guy. Here's some more news. Here's a funny cat video. Here's a hot guy. Here's some news. And then, like,
every other one's a hot guy, just so you notice the pattern, people.
Heart.
You got a thirst trap in your Reddit thread, huh? Hey, there's Mr. Alba again. Hello. I know he's on your thread. That's my girlfriend's like heartthrob. She's like, oh my God. I'm like, take it easy. Jesus, you're killing me. I was like, he's a good looking man. And plus he's like got the English accent,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And she's like, I like to hear him just do interviews. I'm like, yeah, he's got an English accent. I get it. He's pretty much the opposite of me. I'm like, what are you doing here, man? He has everything that I'm not. It's like that movie Twins, but literally, I'm Danny DeVito in this situation. Just so you guys know, not Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh man!
That's
I
tough.
remember that movie.
He has hair, he has height, he has muscle, he has melanin, and an English accent. I have none of these things. The Reddit thread is a thirst trap for. I got you, L. All right, you damn millennials! I tell you, you're thick as thieves, man. Yeah, TikTok is like, I don't know, man. It's mostly 1 minute videos, but when my one video hit 250K, they gave me 3 minute video, whatever, like beta tested it. So I'm like, hey, cool, 3 minutes.
Oh,
Fancy, you know? Yeah, man. Oh boy.
That's interesting.
Me says, I'm gonna learn some TikTok dances. Can't the Zoomers have all the fun? I'm not a Zoomer, by the way. I'm Gen X, just so you know. What's a Zoomer?
I think it's Gen Z.
That's the Gen Z.
Oh, okay. I don't even know. That's how old my ass is. I don't even know all these damn things. Zoomers.
I don't pay attention to them.
Boomers, Zoomers, millennials, flip-floppity, flip-flappity, whatever, man. Consumers, nonetheless.
Right.
Here we go.
Yeah, Reverend Wendy's actually doing pretty. She does some fun stuff on there too, man.
Yeah.
Full of these people on there.
Hey, Ender.
That's one of your regulars, right?
Yeah.
I've seen them on your lives. Yep.
That's another one.
It's not Elizabeth Norris as well.
Yeah.
Oh, she's on there?
Yeah, she's our missing people. Yeah, they've had some whole conversations. Yeah. By the way, go blue. Yes. Oops.
Yes.
Yes.
Go blue. Go blue.
And Arif always comes in and says Liberia. I have no reason why.
Oh, really? I thought that. Okay, I was looking at the comment stream. I was like, where was that?
Yeah. Because I thought, like, when I was talking about Broward County, he probably meant, because there's like a little black neighborhood called Liberia in Broward. So
No,
it's like,
that dude is always in there. He's usually my first ones to comment. He always says Liberia and says nothing the rest of the time. And I'm like, anything else, guy? That's it. Every single time, Liberia. I'm like, Liberia's in a house. All right.
I guess so. If people want to represent Liberia, then hey, shout out to Liberia. Bam.
Faithful.
There you go. That's how you get known. Be faithful.
Now here's a funny one here. People tell me I'm a millennial. I believe them because I can't afford a house.
Yeah, sounds about right.
To the max.
What?
But yeah, I was gonna try and I was hoping I had more time. I forgot my son had a damn basketball scrimmage today. So I was gonna try and make like a little thread of all the right wing talking points against it. I was trying to have that ready, and I didn't. I just forgot about the basketball game. But I was wanting to see the most common responses to it, the most common pushback. But it's all about they're going to teach us that white people are bad. All white people are bad, and there's this weird little. I've seen about five or six tips, like you said, Els, just a few, but they really hammer them, man. Mm-hmm. And that's all they stick to because they don't think past tip of their nose,
No.
Like if it's not right here in their face, they don't really look at it, and that's what we're up against. These people think about as deep as a mud puddle, like not deep thought going on.
No.
Man,
a lot of reactionary thoughts, and it's hard to intellectualize against that.
Like when they hear the word race, they freak the fuck out. It's like, why do we keep thinking about race? Why do we keep thinking? I feel like, they always say, oh, you have to talk about your problems. If you have a problem, speak up about it. But race is the only problem that goes away when you don't talk about it. Like, okay.
Well, that's the thing that it's just so ironic. Like, you don't want anybody to talk about the most obvious thing in the room. This country has, I think it's 13% African American, but 80% jail population. That's not a bug, it's a feature. Mm-hmm. Like, just look at the laws, look at where the policing is done at, look at average sentences, Timmy versus Tyrone, all that kind of typical bullshit talking points, right? Like, it's real. If I got arrested for the same thing any of you got arrested for, I get probation. You guys are going to have a long stay. You know what I mean? Like, statistically speaking, that's the facts.
Yes.
And to ignore that, like critical race, to ignore that statistic is a disservice to education.
Oh, yeah.
And you would hope that this would educate the next generation of police also.
Mm-hmm.
To be like, you want me to go over there, but why? Not so many thoughtless soldiers, you know, that'll just buy into the culture, change the culture through education. That's why they want to make, like, I can't remember who it said, don't send your kids to public college because it's going to make them liberals.
Yeah.
I'm like, because they're educated. I get it. So you're proving my point. You know, like, that's just like, there are educated people that are conservatives. I get it. It's not 100%, but, you know, let's be real. Once you study anything, you start losing these old ways really quickly.
True.
If you see,
well, I'd say college is the first time most white people are around black people.
it's true. Yeah.
Period. Same thing in the military. Most white people don't grow around people who don't look like them. This country still has 70% white people. So it's very clustered groups of communities that have any kind of diversity in it. So college is where you first actually normalize others, because others aren't that bad when you live with them. Oh, wait, they get hungry too. Wow, that's weird. You know, like,
hey,
also
too.
What about that extra hamstring in your biology class?
Right.
You know, like, I'd love to see that question come up in human anatomy. Don't they got extra hamstring, Mr. Professor? That would be a hilarious actually situation. But you know, that's what it comes down to. Yeah, it's like there's exposure and education. It's a perfect breeding ground for thought, and gives you an opportunity to get out of that bubble that tells you, you know, don't touch that. That's hot. Don't touch that. Don't go out right there because it's cold. And then also, black people are inferior. You know what I mean? Like, these are all facts. Like religion, there is a God, because the same people of authority keep you safe, keep you fed, and they're the smartest people you know until you actually meet smarter people. And so the whole indoctrination process is you get to remove yourself and kind of think for yourself, because you don't have the same influence around you. You have a new set of influences and you that challenge you to think. You know, that's why college is a good thing. Military is a good thing. I'm actually very I can't say I'm anti-military, but it's like I'm anti-war like a motherfucker now, man, more than ever. Uh-oh.
I did have a one.
Did you guys hear an echo?
I don't know if it was just I had to plug my computer in real quick, and I don't know if it was making a notification, but I don't hear much.
Okay.
I did want to mention real quick, like if you ever see the state of Florida's like voting map and the counties and whatever, every county that's blue is where like a major university is.
Same thing in Michigan.
Yeah.
All states, yes.
Yes.
Yep. That's why I would love to see a college, or let me rephrase this. I like to see a presidential administration that would be willing to go to bat against the Ivy League colleges, against the Northwestern universities, the Michigan universities, the Notre Dames of the world, the Southern California, you know, all these Ivy League top of the line stuff. Okay, here's the deal. You have, I can't remember, I had a graphic on TikTok. I had a graphic about the top 10 universities, because I actually agree with Tom Cotton on something. That's fucking rare, right? So this one time I agree with him. He says we should be taxing the endowment funds, where they have like, I think it's Harvard has like 100 and something billions of dollars in endowments, hundreds of billions of dollars of money and endowments just sitting there. Tax it. Me, I prefer, because we tax it. What are we good at? We're good at wasting fucking tax dollars. I think it should go straight to funding more wars and weapons. So fuck all that shit, right?
Right.
I think we should have an administration that leverages and puts pressure on these and say, listen, either we're gonna gut your endowment with a tax to fund social programs, or you will get an incentive. You'll be opt out of that tax system if you put satellite campuses around the country and like the poorest, most uneducated places, typically Mississippi, Louisiana, Kentucky, West Virginia. No offense to those folks, but where the education's the bottom 10% states, they should put those schools there. And what's that going to do? Generate jobs, a local economy boom, entrepreneurship, and damn, I hear the echo again. But it's going to create a little boom of economy in the very poorest regions, make the biggest difference.
Yes.
If you put a Harvard camp in Biloxi, Mississippi, it's going to change the dynamics of Biloxi for damn sure. But the economy, because like Andrew Yang, the reason I think of this because of what Andrew Yang said about decentralizing Washington D.C. And putting the defense part, the Department of Education in Knoxville, Tennessee, or whatever, right? A rundown city that has cheap real estate is what it comes down to. And that's not, Knoxville's not a good example. Detroit's a good example. Cleveland's a good example. Gary, Indiana is a good example. I don't know any other southern. This is where we're at up here. But there's other places like that are just dead, deserted, but they have commercial buildings. They have infrastructure are there, so it's cheaper, it's more cost effective. And there's housing there. There's roads already built. You don't have to create a whole new thing. You just put it here and convert these old factories in Gary, Indiana. Used to do steel mills, convert it into a university. Then that whole Gary, Indiana is going to come up. Yeah. So I think I would like to see that type of, because what's going to do is going to educate the area and stimulate the economy, create jobs, and stabilize their whole community, which will make everything safer, blah, 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 blah. Because that's what happens with money. At least the illusion of safety, whatever that might be. But that's the things I think we need to do is infuse educations, not ban teaching stuff. Like we can't teach that at school. If you don't teach at school, where the fuck are you going to teach it at?
Right.
It's school, you dumbass. I don't get it. We'll teach them at home. I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes. That's why we have rebel flags in Michigan, you dumbasses. It's not okay. Right. We as the people will not allow this ignorance to continue. Oh, you're too far north to have a Confederate flag, dipshits.
Like, right here, it's like, why is your Confederate flag here? When like your whole entire family is from up north.
Why do you find that loser flag? I just don't get it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, man.
I know. Do you guys see that general roast the shit out of that pedophile guy? What's his name? Looks like Beavis and Butthead.
Oh,
Matt Gaetz.
There you go. That Beavis and Butthead reference brought it home. He does look like Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got roasted by that general because the general, he's like, "Why do we got to teach critical?" He's like, he goes, "I don't know what you're talking about." He goes, "But teaching history, I have no problem with it." And he went on to a little roast. He goes, "Because we all know we're both Green Berets."
Yeah. And
I was like, "Ooh, little." Gave him a little jab there, and he's like, I don't even know if he realized he was insulted in that moment. I think that was a little too fast paced for him too. But I do like that low key trolling like that. He's like, because we're both Green Berets, clearly. I'm like, ooh, sir, I like you. That is good shit, man. You're my people. But like, we have people in the Senate who are up on pedophile and child trafficking charges, arguing to ban critical race theory. We have other senators, we have other governors and city officials, dumbass parents in Ohio going to school boards where it's not being taught, saying don't teach it. It's just the biggest cycle of stupid I've ever seen. It just is so disappointing.
Yeah.
To be like, are we really that fucking dumb?
Yeah, we are.
For sure. For sure.
I know it wasn't.
We look at Donald Trump and we have,
but it's true.
what are we, like 22nd in the world in math and science, like 20 to 40 in some of these categories.
Listen, yeah.
Literacy, I think, too, is not always great.
I mean, even put it to like here's where it hits home. Like, we're not even mentioned top 10 in the world as far as like the best place to live.
Hell no.
Not even top 10. I mean, you look at from say being safe, we're not top 10. Life expectancy, not top 10. But hold on, lo and behold, oh yeah, we got the best military in the whole wide world. Yeah, we're up there. But everything else, just like, okay, so once we get out military and whatnot, like, what about then? What about health? What about mental health?
Yeah.
You know,
all of us are just in the military.
like, what about all the things that actually really matters? You know, what about that? Where are we? Where are we?
Apply to your life.
Like, come on, come on. And it's crazy because it's like, what's this? 2021.
It is.
Yeah, I got to think. I had to think.
Yeah,
it's almost July. We're almost halfway through it.
Yeah,
I know.
More than halfway.
Yeah.
2016. 2016, when everything was kind of going haywire. Me and a buddy of mine, we were sitting around talking, and he was like, he's like, man, he's like, if Trump ever won an election, like, if you won, like, would you ever think about moving out the United States? I was like, it's funny because me and the missus, we've already talked. We're like, look, we want to go to a place where if we can be safe and be okay, we're fine. We're good. You know, we talked about going to Japan. We talked about going to Switzerland. I mean, heck, she talked about going to Germany because she has an aunt who lives there. Like, and her grandfather travels between Germany, US, and somewhere else, like, just because.
But they don't want us.
Like,
they don't want us.
Still.
New Zealand was like on top of my list of places to move, and then not everybody is like looking at New Zealand because of how well they dealt with the pandemic. But I was like, damn it, New Zealand was going to be like my little secret country that everybody knows about, of course.
Well, you know how hard it is to get citizenship there? It's actually very, very difficult. I actually looked into that too. It's actually rather difficult to become a citizen there.
Not true. Yeah.
Yeah. They don't want a lot of people. They like their paradise just the way it is, you know. I just love the Maori culture.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have a tattoo, guys. I mean, I really dig the fucking culture, man. This is it's considered Tongan, Polynesian, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Because they're like one of the last warrior tribes of the water, of the ocean, like they're ocean tribal people. And they have some really cool cultural things. I'm fat because being a white person, there's not a lot of culture like to be proud of. You know what I mean? Like, there's not like, oh, that's my white culture tattoo. That's not good. So unless it's very specific to Ireland or like a country of origin, that's it, right? And I did my DNA, right? So I'm pretty much 3/4 fucking colonizer English, right? Like, for real. Yeah. And the rest is Spanish, Swedish, and German. Which it's just Viking, in other words, that came around and had sex with people. And then Germans came around and had sex with people. And then Spanish people colonized and had sex with people. Somewhere along the line, that's what happened, right? They kept crossing the Straits of Gibraltar. Pretty much where all my gene pool came from. I'm 100% I'm 100% import, right? I don't have any kind of American DNA, like North or South American, nothing. And so it's just kind of funny. There's no culture, so I actually became fascinated with other cultures. You know, the Polynesians, they're some bad motherfuckers. Those are like modern day Vikings of the Pacific, if you think about it. They're seagoing. They're warrior tribes. They have facial tattoos that scare the shit out of people still. And they do some really cool fucking haka dances. I dig that shit, man.
Mhm.
That's badass. First of all, it makes me get goosebumps when I see that shit.
Yeah.
So I respect the shit out of that stuff. So I haven't got, like, because I got the two boys, and because my one son is biracial, the other son is white. So half the thing is black and white, the other one's white and black. Get it? It's like they're opposite.
Mhm.
Oh, I see.
Interesting.
Two keep inside the turtle shell, and the turtle represents long life and protection.
Mhm.
Nice.
And so I'm not spiritual, but I do like culture. So that's about as
Yeah.
spiritual as I'll get as a tattoo.
There you go. There you go.
It doesn't really protect shit, but I like the idea of it.
Look, it's the concept of it.
That's
The
right.
concept.
It's
I
a
got
virtue
you.
signal to my children. That's fine. But yeah, I've always dug that kind of stuff. And like I said, being a white person, there's no real pride. You know what I mean? Like, there's no room for pride unless you got a fucking problem. So like for me, I've always looked for something. I'm like, what can I be proud of? I'm like, okay. All I can say about pride is, okay, I'm not on welfare anymore. That's like my only thing as an economic upcoming instead of anything else is all I can really claim to and raise 4 children. Despite not having a father, being twice divorced. Those are my accomplishments, is because pride comes from the past typically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a heritage type of thing, and there's no heritage in the white culture that I can get down with. There are some organizations.
Oh, really? Do tell.
I'm not privy to them. I don't think they want my ass either. But yeah, so this is a fucking weird country, man. We're still an experiment on the national scale. Like, we're an experiment. We're a young government.
A young country too.
I consider what we're at right now is like pubescent. Like, we're going through puberty, and Trump and MAGA is like zits, like acne. Like, on the face, we have a lot of blemishes right now, just flat out. We got a lot of this. Like, there's a massive boil, then there's a bunch of acne, right? Trump's the boil, MAGA's the acne, and we need some fucking Noxzema up in this bitch, right? So,
hold on, which one? You want the actual bad?
I have no idea. I got fortunate. I didn't have bad acne as a kid. I got super lucky there, man.
Yeah, same here.
Super lucky.
Yeah.
I
I
had
had
to
some
go.
friends. I'm like, yo, your skin looks like it's about to bleed, man. Are you okay?
Sheesh. I had it bad. Oh, I had it bad. Like,
I got lucky.
Man, I'll put it to like this. I probably went through like 3-4 different types of like facial stuff to find the one that actually worked. But even then, it wasn't even a guarantee that it would work.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm screwed.
Yeah, it's a chemical thing, man.
Yeah. And so pretty much as I got older, I just took like better care of myself, and eventually it started clearing up. I think probably like my 10th grade, 11th grade year in high school. That's when my face like actually cleared up. And I was like, okay, so I don't look like the moon walking around or whatnot. So I'm good.
An asteroid bolt hit you upside the head.
Man, listen. I'll probably say like that was like, I think because even then during that time, it was probably like one of the times where I'm starting to kind of like figure out what's going on in the world and how I actually didn't really like what was going on. But at the same time, a lot of the things that we're still dealing with now was what we were still dealing with back then. You know, I think I tell Elle and Toby this, that there's been times where we would drive to, well, I wouldn't drive, even my friend, we would drive to a basketball game at Grand Rapids. And, you know, I'm wearing my hat, like thinking no big deal, oblivious to what's going on. My other homie, he would put my hat off and put it on my lap. I kind of looked at him all weird and crazy, like, why are you doing that for? He said, dude, he's like, he said, it's bad enough is 4 black people riding in one car. Okay. What's even worse is we get pulled over because we're all wearing hats in the same car. They're gonna pull us over and think we got drugs. I'm like, oh, I didn't think about it like that.
The same color hat or the same hat design. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even then. Like we all had different color hats. Like I think I had a Lakers fitted, and then my homie he had a different kind of hat. My brother had a different kind of hat. My other friend had a different kind of. We all had different kind of hats, all different colors and everything else. But it was just still the concept of because we were all wearing hats. It was like we were now like, oh, you guys must be in a gang or something, or you must be selling drugs. We're like, dude, we're just going to a basketball game that our high school lost, and somebody got posterized like right there in front of their girl. What made it worse, they got posterized in front of their girlfriend. It was like, ooh,
Yikes.
yeah,
Yikes.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then he got the audacity to blow her a kiss. That was like, oh, that's disrespectful. Oh yeah.
Wait. Old boy comes down, posterizes him, and then blows a kiss to her. Oh boy.
Hey, that's Grand Rapids for you.
That's
Grand Rapids for you. It was hilarious. We're like, ooh, like that's bold. Like that man had some balls on him to do that. Like, man, like, well, off to the next one.
There's a guy from Benton Harbor, Michigan, where I live at over here. His name's Chris Childs. He actually made it to the NBA. He's the guy that fought Kobe. Like he's the one that punched Kobe in the face in the NBA.
Nice.
Kobe did some shit. He's like blip blip, and that's when Kobe lost his shit. He was young. And Chris Childs, man, he's one of my peeps from back in the day.
There you go.
Back then, he used to wear a Band-Aid on his face at all basketball games. It was like a thing they did in Benton Harbor High School. Everybody wore a Band-Aid on their cheek because of Pig Miller, Anthony Pig Miller. He played in the NBA too, from Benton Harbor. He went to Michigan State.
Okay.
Dude, 7 foot. You know, I've never seen somebody that tall in my life. I saw that son of a bitch at the mall. I was like, what in the I think that's where the Bible gets giants from.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. You ever stood next to someone who's 7 foot tall?
Sheesh.
Yep. Fucking giant. Put Kevin Hart next to Shaq. That's some biblical disproportionate humans, right?
That's some funny stuff.
Giants did exist during biblical times, and now they still do. They just play in the NBA.
There you go.
You know, or they're like in the strongman contest of Norway and shit like that. That dude named the Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
He's like 7 foot tall, 450 pounds. His thighs bigger than my entire torso, and he can squat a building of people. Like these guys are insane. How imagine going onto a battlefield, a bunch of Germanians. You know, like what the fuck is that? Take off running.
Yeah,
yeah. You better know some magic or voodoo because these some bitches gonna kill us. You know, a bunch of Vikings, man. Them some big people.
Man,
that DNA did not come down to me. It's get my whole generation, man. I'm telling you. I have some aunts and stuff that are like 6'1", 6'2". My brother's about 6'1" too, but I didn't get all that. I missed out. Like I had one growth spurt. I didn't get that second one they always talked about.
Look, here. So both of my brothers, actually, both my brothers and one of my brother-in-laws, they're like 6 foot, like easy. 6 foot. I think one of my brothers is like 6'1", 6'2". The other one is 6'1". And yeah, I know my oldest, he's getting up there.
Yeah, I got a coworker. She retired, but she has a twin sister, identical twin sisters. They're both 6'2". Her husband's 6'6". Their daughters are 5'11". She's the runt, and the other daughter's 6'1". And then, so that's her husband. So then her brothers are 6'8" and 6'9". They're just all shins, like the biggest shins you've ever seen.
That is just.
It's like a baseball bat for a shin.
Oh.
Like, that's a big ass shin.
Right, yeah. Man, like, yeah, that's true. That is a really I'm thinking of it now.
6'9". Their kneecaps are in my thigh level. Like, what? We're the same species for real? Because that is crazy. I don't know how the hell we got on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of walked in. You guys were just talking about tall people.
Critical race theory. We're tall people. Damn the tall people.
Yeah, that's why we need to talk about like critical tall theory.
Critical. Oh man. But yeah, anyway, I don't know where the hell we got that up because I ain't gonna lie. We took a couple of left turns there, man. We was in Albuquerque. That's a Bugs Bunny reference for you youngsters. Anyway. But yeah, we've got some real fucking problems. We got some publicly elected officials who are just out and out making racist tropes and misinforming people and handing what it is, like you're saying, Elle, they're handing down talking points.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
Like I don't really see people as sheep. I feel like they're more so like parrots. They just keep you say it enough times and they just start repeating it.
They're more like Xeroxes.
Mass copying.
Yes.
Just that's it. Just copy and repeat.
Yeah. But it's sad. It's scary, and they're just getting away with it on a massive scale. Because like you want your children, at least I assume, you want your children to be better versions of yourself, or like at least know more, go further, and do better for themselves, their family, and the country. So to be like, yeah, I want you to know more, but I don't want you to know everything. I don't want you to know that stuff. I don't want you to know like that stuff you don't really need to know, but all the things that I learned in school, that's what you should learn in school, like verbatim. You don't need to know more things. It's like, no.
Well, it's like reading from an encyclopedia from 1985.
Exactly.
Right? You're missing out a whole lot of information.
Mm-hmm.
And we're teaching history from 1865.
Right.
Like we're still teaching the same history. That's the problem. We need actual history lessons that include the facts of the that's how, like, if I was in charge of a school system, I would demand that this series on NPR called Seeing White be played for every single student and take a test on it.
What's it called?
It's called Seeing White on NPR.
Okay.
Me and a couple people on TikTok are going to do a 14-part series. So we're going to do a thing like where we do it like once a week. We're going to do a discussion panel on each individual section of it. But that really woke me up to the idea of systemic racism. And slavery still exists, 13th Amendment. The term white versus white man, black man is invented here in the United States. Like we created race in this country. Like it's an American thing. And we spread it throughout the world,
right.
But it started in Virginia's Congress. And the only reason I know these statistics is because of fucking Seeing White on NPR. It's a great thing.
Yeah, I don't think I was listening to NPR, but I was listening to this another podcast where they mentioned that like something happened in Virginia, I think in the 1600s, where
1691.
It was the first time in recorded history where someone was like discriminated based on race in terms of like It was like 3 people. I think two of them white, one of them black. Yeah. They all did the same thing. Yes. The white people got like less of a charge, and the black person was like sent to jail. And I think that's what they said.
Yeah, what happened was I actually remember this very firmly in my memory.
Okay.
So again, you're right. 3 people came on across the pond, if you will, on the same 4-year contract of indentured servitude.
Right.
You're going to work for us for 4 years, and after you get done that 4 years, we're going to give you some property. 40 acres and a mule kind of shit, right?
Right.
So it's back then you had to have property to be a voter. You had to have property to have your own garden, to have food, shelter, and you're going to give you a gun and a mule or whatever, right? To travel. That's transportation and resources to build your own self up, right? So 3 people come across, 2 Dutch and 1 African. Same contract. They come over here, serve it indentured servitude. They get here, they're like, yo, they're chaining us up. This is not what we signed up for.
Mm-hmm.
This is not adequate housing. This is not adequate food. They're beating us. And so then these three people, the same contract, said, this is a nullified contract. This contract isn't valid. We're out of here.
Mm-hmm.
They all three take off. Of course, the bounty hunters bring their asses back. They take them back to the Virginia Congress. They're like, listen, we don't have a contract of servitude. This is not meeting our standards. And that's when you're talking about the two white people. They said in there, the two white men get 4 more years of servitude. The black man gets life. It's the first slave by law based upon race, life servitude. And that's in Virginia's Congress. Like, this is before the United States had the Tea Party kind of deal, right? This is way the fuck back. And we didn't fix it for a long time, you know. This went on for a while. And that's the history. That's what we need to be teaching in critical race theory. That should be a fact that most children know.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that's a great thing to know.
Yeah.
Because before 1691, it's like, where are you from? Or what race are you? Like, what race? Human. I'm human race, because that's what we are. Oh, but what are you? Well, I'm Dutch. Right? I'm not white. I'm Dutch. I'm Irish. I'm Czech. Right. It was more about place of origin, not skin color.
Right.
And then you go on to like the Irish people that come during the potato famine. They were the others for a long time. They were the low lifes, like the Middle Easterns are being treated right now, or whatever, right? Like the new other, and stuff like that. And then they, you know, just that white cloak, just come on over. We got you, you know. And then they talk about a thing where the term Caucasian came from, means west of the Caucasus Mountains in the Middle East. Then a guy came over here from the Caucasus Mountains and said, I want my citizenship. I'm white. I'm a Caucasian. But he was not. He's Middle Eastern. A little bit too tan. He's claiming to be Caucasian. But the Caucasus Mountains are in the Middle East. He's like, I'm of the Caucasus Mountains. I am Caucasian. By birthright, I am Caucasian. And so that he won. Then they changed the rules so they could exclude him later, right? And everybody like him. So it talks about all these types of things. They're like, wait a minute, we can't let that person in, or anybody that looks like him. So new rule. Yeah. So it's like all these new systems to exclude. It's just a bunch of means testing through litigation to exclude people, to make sure people of color did not vote, did not get a proper education, did not get to own real estate, which was how you voted before. There was no citizenship. You had to have a deed in your name, you know, and that's how you voted. And then, you know, so it teaches you all this systemic systems that I would also tell people. I actually read another book called Racism Without Racists. That's specifically about systemic. You don't need racist people. You just need a racist system to have racist results. You know, so that's another good book that I read because of Seeing White. They suggested it because one of the guests was an author. But yeah, I think that should be taught in school. That should be part of critical race theory. It should almost be like a college course in high school. This is specifically about the history of race. Let's really talk about it. I think there should also be one about religion, of all religions, at the same level of respect and dignity, or whatever you want to call it. You know, not one, but teach them all. Buddhism. There'd be a lot more Buddhists, I think, in schools if they actually taught Buddhism. You know, who don't want to be a Buddhist? They're chill. They light a thingy up. They bang that little doodad and say some mantras. Cool. They don't mean no harm. Here, there's some problems over there, you know, in India, but as an ideology, it's pretty welcoming, I guess you'd say. It doesn't demonize people until you get into power. Then, of course, anybody in power has a problem with others. That's the whole point of Gandhi. Like, Buddhists and Muslims are killing each other over ideologies, you know. They already teach these things. It's just not very detailed, of course, and many things are just skimmed over. Yeah, it's called whitewashed. The thing is, so again, Christianity is the default norm, even in schools when it's not taught, because it's that culturally. Right. White Christian is the default in this country.
mean, I learned about Jesus a little bit in school. There was a chapter.
But it's a history. It was not science. Yeah, it's history.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But I think there should be a separate course for religion, world belief systems, or whatever you want to call it, and teach Native American Mother Earth type of ancestry, the thousands of gods of Hinduism, and like teach. They teach. Think about the things they teach. Greek mythology. They teach that because it's mythology.
They call it mythology when it was, the religion.
It was exactly. So I think we should teach all mythologies equally. Greek mythology, Christianity, same fucking thing to me. I'm an atheist though, right? But the schools are secular government bodies. That's how it should be taught. It's a secular society. They should all be taught as a matter of fact. This group of people believe this to be true, whatever. And it helped people make a more informed decision for themselves and help prevent indoctrination as
I agree.
Oh man, it's a dangerous thing.
Yep. I agree. Yeah.
I agree.
I did want to say something about how I feel race and critical race theory. I think, because like when a kid I think is like 2 years old or maybe even younger, they can definitely see the differences between people. It's like, all right, this person, is lighter than this person, or they could, they can understand that concept.
Yeah, so taller, shorter. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So I think maybe like kindergarten, maybe even first grade, they should just talk about, just history in like a very G-rated way, like all the good stuff, like pretty much like what they sort of teach now. And then like as like when middle school comes, then it should start to get a little, darker, a little bit more gritty and truthful in the history. And then high school, that's when it should really start to, drill into everyone's head. It's like, these are all the truths. That's when you should learn about, what happened in Virginia in 1691. Maybe like 8th grade to 9th grade. You should
Tulsa Massacre should be on there. What is that noise? That's a weird thing keeps coming in and out. Let me figure out who that is. Yeah, that's you, Toby. I'm not sure what that is. Keeps feeding in and out. Are you murdering people on a PlayStation or something? Or
the only thing I know is that there's like wind and like the blinds have been going, but I'm not sure how that. I don't know how that sounds, and it's in and out. Like right now, it's peaceful, but I'll keep muted just in case.
Anyway, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, it is 11 o'clock. I'm not sure if you guys got to get going and stuff. 11 o'clock Eastern. Wait, we're all in the Eastern time zone, aren't we?
Yeah, we're all in Eastern.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, then that helps. But yeah, we've got a lot of things we need to. This country's culture is a Titanic, and we're definitely heading towards an iceberg, right? So we've got to make a course correction now before it's too late.
Right.
We're going to make some extreme movement. That's when you get problems. Extreme shifts. We need to teach it. The course corrections in kindergarten. When people go, hey, we're all the same. And teach about melanin in your skin. Literally teach about the science. Mm-hmm. You see this person, they have a little more melanin in you, and all it is an adaptation to the sun. That's all it is. It's about vitamin D consumption. That's it. It really is that simple. The closer someone's people live to the equator, the darker their skin is because they're trying to not absorb they don't need to absorb as much melanin. Mm-hmm. If you go away from the equator, you get lighter, you have less melanin, so it absorbs more sun for vitamin D. It's a really simple homeostasis kind of thing in science. It could be just as a matter of fact. I know you can't teach that in kindergarten, right? But dumb it down, simplify it for 5-year-olds. Be like, yeah, we're all the same. It's just skin color. Yeah. Your hair is blonde, your hair is brown, your head's red. Yeah. That's also a color of your hair. Same thing with your skin. Yeah. Like it should be basically a matter of fact is eye color, hair color, height. Yeah, we come in shapes and sizes and also different levels of melanin. That's it. Not that we're 3 different races of humanoids. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck?
Crazy.
You know? That's crazy. It happened in Michigan.
Jeez.
This ain't Mississippi.
Yeah.
I wonder who approved that book.
And like, I feel bad for the teacher teaching it too, because they probably knew that this was wrong, or maybe they actually believed it. I don't know, but like,
Or it confirmed their bias. Or it could confirm their bias. Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's true.
There's something different about Black people, something different about the Asian community. Why are they so much better at math? Nah, you know, stupid shit. You know, they must have an extracerebellum in their head.
Oh my gosh.
You know?
But I can see that happening. Oh man.
Their cerebellum is more developed. The Africans have an extra hamstring. Clearly.
So
Look, I see one.
I love the
That
voice
baffles me.
you're doing.
It's so crazy. And that's right. Yep. Yeah. Right. And here's the beauty. I was so relieved when they did the DNA, the genome sequencing, and it found out that people from Europe were the ones actually crossbred with Neanderthals. Thank goodness. I'm so happy, because if that was the other way around, the racists would be like, "See, a bunch of fucking caveman fuckers," you know, like, you know what I mean? But when it turns out it's the other way around, a sense of relief. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. Shit. These motherfuckers, don't give them no more ammunition, man.
Right.
But you know, like humans, Homo sapiens, crossbred with Neanderthals during the ice ages, before the ice ages, you know. But that's a fact. I have Neanderthal DNA more than you guys do. I mean, think about it. It's not like, again, I don't think it's a surprise or a bug. I think it's a feature that people of the North were bigger, right? Where Neanderthals survived during the Ice Age. They're bigger, thicker, hardier for the winters, you know, like to maintain body mass, kind of like the Inuits of Alaska and the northern Arctic Circle right now. What's that?
I said, yeah, no, that's possible.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. So that kind of, it's just kind of funny if you think about it. Just the Neanderthal comment just makes me laugh every time I think about it. Oh yeah, well. Yeah, they should teach about Andrew Jackson being a serial rapist.
I don't know, but I'm not surprised.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know that
Andrew Jackson.
The tears and the.
Andrew Jackson raped all of his female enslaved women to breed livestock, if you will, for him. That's how he viewed Black people's livestock. So he would rape them, impregnate them, and create another generation of free work, right? And so they changed the laws. That's when it become that one drop rule about the whole Black bloodline. If you got one black drop, your ass is black, and you don't have the rights of here, you know. And But all these things are about course corrections that they make to exclude, you know.
Right. Yeah.
First, Black. Now you're in between. They had some other names like mulatto or some shit.
Yeah.
I heard that. Remember that term from being like a interracial.
I remember Trump had Andrew Jackson, like, I can't remember if it was his bust or like a picture of him hanging up in the Oval Office, and I already knew like Andrew Jackson was shitty, but now that just makes it a whole lot worse. Like,
well, there's a comedian, I can't remember his name. Shit, I can't remember his name. This dude made me laugh so hard about the Andrew Jackson joke. He said, "Can you imagine if the forefathers came to now?" This is during Barack Obama's presidency. He goes, "Can you imagine if they came back and say the president is that one of Andrew Jackson's kids?"
Wow.
That's
That
a good
would have
joke.
been.
That's a fucked up joke, but it's a good joke. I was
Yeah.
like,
Man.
damn. The comedian was a ruthless son of a bitch. I'm like, and he's like innocent, like this weird little pitch. But man, that line was a killer. That was one of Jackson's kids. I'm like, oof, yikes.
Man.
But that's, I mean, imagine if you bring them forward. I would actually relish in that, to see them be like, what the hell? You know? Let them meet, like, I would love to bring one of those old fuckers back and let them sit down with Neil deGrasse Tyson. And him just, or no. Hold up. Let's be real. Oh shit. Oh man. Dr. Cornell West. That'd be even better.
I was literally just thinking Cornell West in my head. I was like, I wonder if he's gonna say Cornell West, and then you did.
Yes, Cornell West. I'm a huge fan because he has been.
Oh man.
I don't know how to put it, man. One of the greatest speakers of all time, as far as I'm concerned. Next to like shit, I forgot his name now too. Fuck, the guy that did the book "I Am Not Your Negro."
Oh, James Baldwin.
Baldwin, shit, yeah, him. That dude was on another level. But nobody knew about it. He got the fuck out of here. He went to England. Like, I'm not coming back to that country where I'm not being welcomed and da. Like James Baldwin, another great speaker of his time. I think Neil deGrasse Tyson's a great representative of like science. And then you have Dr. Cornell West. Shit. That dude is surgical with his words. I watched the People's Party National Convention. He was in there. Man, he's amazing. And here's the thing I like about Dr. Cornell West. He calls everyone alike brothers and sisters. Period. He shows Trump more respect than I ever will. He says, my brother Donald Trump is misguided and misconstrued, and he is an ignorant racist, but he still calls him his brother.
Yeah.
Which fucks my head up because I don't consider people I don't like my brother.
Agreed.
You.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And your brother, you know, like fuck you, you know. But that's the thing. I think Dr. Cornell West has so much character that and I don't know what you can call it, man, but just testicular fortitude to call everyone his brother and sister, no matter if they hate his guts or not. It's like killing someone with, yeah, that's a military term. But like he kills people with kindness, even when they're not kind, and gives them respect when they don't deserve it and haven't earned it. He still comes with you. He's gonna gut you, but he still comes with you with grace. And I actually look up to him for that because I don't have that in me yet. Like I don't have that skill set quite yet. But yeah, Trev, you're right, man. We're all like 17th cousins.
Yeah.
Like there's about 17 generations on this planet at any given time. We are all related through 17 generations, roughly. Like we've all been in a way. You know, not directly, but 17 cousins, that's a lot of generations.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because 17 generations back, it's a couple thousand years.
Oh yeah, true.
Right. So you figure every 20 years, roughly, for an average age of birth, right? Whatever, like 20. But back then, it's probably closer to 15, honestly, back in the day. But you started having babies at 15, you had them until you're like fucking 35 or whatever, and then you probably died in your last pregnancy and you got a new wife. That's kind of how they did it back then. That's the facts. That's what happened. They use and abuse women, just period. But an average age of 20 times 17 generations, that's like 3,000 years. Is my math wrong?
I mean, I don't think
No. One too many zeros. Oh God, fuck off. Come on, Bobby. Why?
I knew that was coming.
I think he's more related to a baboon or an orangutan, just for skin tone alone.
Let's see, 340.
340, yeah, not 3,400. I added 120, but 340 years, a long time, right?
Yeah.
But not really, because 340 years, slavery was quote unquote ended, but yet, so, but every human on this planet is related. I'm not a religious person, but there is a thing called the Eve mitochondrial DNA marker that every single human on this planet that's ever lived, ever, has this one mitochondrial DNA sequence called the Eve mitochondrial sequence. It's from sub-Saharan Africa, duh, and it's easily proven through DNA. So that's as close to Adam and Eve as I'll get, as an atheist, but we all did come from the same small group of people from sub-Saharan Africa. It's just the way it is. Sorry, white folk. That's the thing too. I actually argued with this racist dude about it. I go into people's homes, doing physical therapy.
Yeah.
And so this one person at this apartment complex, he had on his Trump hat and shit, and I had my Yang Gang shit on my backpack, my work bag. And he's like, and I had the math hat on back then. I was rocking that bitch all the time, make people think, ask questions. And he's like, "What's your math hat about?" I was like, "What's your MAGA about?" Outside his apartment complex. He's like, "Make America great again." I was like, "Again, compared to when?" Immediately challenged. He's like, then just fucking pointless, right? But he also said, I can't remember how he said it, but I was like, Jesus, I can't remember how I framed this, but I've had a lot of disagreements with people, random strangers. I don't give a fuck, but we have to find a way to educate people without them feeling threatened, because people are feel threatened, won't open their mind. And that's exactly what people like fucking Ted Cruz. It reminds me. That's why I was looking up on Twitter, guys. I'm going to show you guys a very basic one. Where'd it go? So Ted Cruz, this dumb sumbitch, he says, here it is. Ted Cruz moves to block federal funding for critical race theory. Ted Cruz, again, this is a tweet from him. The federal government has no right to force the poison of critical race theory onto the American people. Poison being poured into our minds. Another big lie. I mean, he referred to critical race theory as inherently bigoted. Project much?
Okay, Ted.
Yeah. But then, they want to poison our minds and say the January 6th insurrection was tourists.
Ding, 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 ding. That's actually Antifa, didn't you know? But that's what we're dealing with. These people are getting $176,000 of our tax money a year to poison other people. So they're handing down talking points. These are the exact words you're going to hear when you hear people push back. Is this exact phrase? This will be their main one. And the other one is teaching all children to hate white people. And it's also, was it saying demonizing whiteness? I heard that one once. That was adorable. But I'm just really I'm just thoroughly disgusted with this entire thing where, the transgender thing. I'm like, come on, man. 5 people you're worried about? You want to make an entire political ecosystem around 5 people that want to run track? I don't give a fuck. They want to play field hockey? I don't care. I just don't care. We as a society need to be healthy and whole. About who's playing soccer? Only place I can really see it, I have a little disagreement is maybe fighting. Like we actually punching each other. When you see a grown ass man beat the shit out of a woman, that's not a fair fight. And then you see someone who has what do you call it? A transgender female that just has a bigger frame and more testosterone, that kind of thing. You're just like, oh man, just something don't quite feel right about it. But guess what? I don't think I should pass legislation to match my idea either.
Right.
I could be wrong, and I'm okay with that.
Exactly.
Like, I could be wrong. I don't think everyone should think like I do. I think I need to do a little more research. I don't think I should pass legislation
Right.
to reflect. Everyone's got to think like I do. And that's what Ted Cruz and the Donald Trumps of the world and the Joe Bidens of the world, let's be real. They all want us all to agree with them. So they legislate it, and they appoint Supreme Court justices to back them up. But yeah, so it's one of those things, guys, where we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man, where the hell do you start? Where's the first domino going to fall? But I really do think that critical race theory is one component that should be included in schools, not the magic bullet. This is going to end racism. Of course not.
No,
it starts at home.
That's a start,
Oh, thank you, Toby. Let's pull this up.
I saw that maybe a week or two ago, or maybe it was even earlier, but at least a week ago, the Oklahoma Community College course on race that's been done pretty regularly for some years, and then they had to get canceled this summer because of the law that Oklahoma signed, where it's like you can't talk about race in any way. And it's not even fully critical race theory. It's just having more frank conversations of racism. And now that's like out the window. So the First Amendment Watch, which, I mean, I don't know all the issues they do, but I imagine they do quite a variety of issues. Some of them might even be more conservative leaning, quote unquote. But here they are. They're like, yeah, no, this is trash. Like, now you're basically, it's not a compelling speech, but you're limiting the speech of these universities. And the use of the university is an optional course. Like, what are we doing? You're banning an optional course on race? What?
Yeah. It's like saying it's illegal to teach basket weaving.
Or when people get mad because there's a show called Dear White People on Netflix. I'm like, you could just not watch it.
First of all, that show is funny. Second of all, if you're triggered by that, you're the problem. Dear white people. Here, let me make sure I make this clear. Dear white people, that triggers you. You are part of the problem. Have a nice day. Anyway,
Awesome.
but as you guys notice here, look at how much imagination they have on messaging. Opening up America again. Well, like these dumb fucks again. Opening up America and make America. Well, we got to get the again and again in here somehow. How do we do the AA thing? But this is how again. Like I was saying, the message is simple. Mm-hmm. When it comes to the economy, open up America again. Make America great again. Keep America great. This is a stupid, simple, ignorant ass messaging. And that's my Dave Chappelle impression, just so you guys know. That's my impression of Dave Chappelle doing his white impression.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Get out of here. Dave Chappelle's the best. Anyway. But yeah, so this is what Toby was talking about. This new law, HB 1775. One more that would have been 1776, it would have been perfect, right? It couldn't sneak one more bill in there to get the right numbers, right? That would have been perfect. But it says that okay, here it is. Yeah, the law prohibits the schools from requiring students to engage with the following list of concepts. One race or sex is inherently superior to another race. Huh. Interesting. An individual by virtue of his or her race or sex is inherently racist, sexist, or oppressive, whether consciously or unconsciously.
What?
Yeah.
That is so fucked up.
Yeah. An individual should be discriminated against or receive adverse treatment solely or partly because of his or her race or sex. What's that mean by partly? Like kind of? Anyway. Members of the one race or sex cannot or should not attempt to treat others without respect to race or sex. That's funny. Fuck off. Man. Don't show the KKK this. Number 5, an individual's moral character is necessarily determined by his or her race or sex. An individual, by virtue of his or her race or sex, bears responsibility for actions committed in the past by other members of the same race or sex.
I feel like this was written in like the early 1900s.
So again, they're creating a narrative. This is a created narrative, right? No one's teaching anyone that they bear responsibility for actions committed in the past by other members of the same race or sex. No one's doing this. This is manufactured victimhood. Pure.
Number 7 is hilarious. Look at number 7.
An individual should feel discomfort, guilt, anguish, or any other form of psychological distress on account of his or her race or sex. Wait. Is that a snowflake I hear melting? The snowflakes are melting. Yeah. So don't make white people uncomfortable. We don't want to be discomforted. I don't want to feel any guilt or any anguish or any other form of psychological distress because of my whiteness.
Wow.
And finally, number 8. Yeah, finally, number 8, meritocracy or traits such as a hard work ethic or are racist. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, or sexist, or were created by members of a particular race to oppress members of another race.
Oh my God.
Is that even like, where is that being taught?
What is this? You cannot teach that meritocracy or traits such as hard work ethic are racist. In other words, white people are hardworking, right? Kind of like Joe Biden said, black people are just as smart as white people. Remember? Joe Biden, I still remember you, bro.
Yeah.
So this is the same mentality, guys. This is that same Jim Crow generation that's writing horse shit like this into fucking legislation, guys. This is not some talking point. This is a bill called 1775.
Gee.
Apparently only K to 12.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Like that's not a
Yeah.
very pertinent
The
age range.
children, they love to hide behind the children and a flag. Fuck.
Look,
Oh, by the way,
children
July
are
4th,
problem.
just so you guys know, on July 4th, there's going to be a flag burning ceremony. On July 4th?
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know some people. Just around. It's just going to happen.
Around the way.
There's something that's going to happen on July 4th. Just giving you guys a heads up.
Oh, snaps.
A demonstration by so one of the things I've learned from listening to Dr. Cornel West, right, is if you recognize that you have a privilege, it's your duty to destroy the system that gave you that privilege. There should be no privileges, right? It should be equal rights. So based upon that, being a white straight male in the Midwest in 1975 created, being a veteran, the flag, God damn it, what are they going to say? What talking point could there be? So we're going to find out. July 4th, coming soon. But yeah, so back to the horse shit, right? So this is a complete list of garbage. This is the part. So Oklahoma is not the only state that has passed or introduced legislation that has proposed cutting funding to public schools that promote divisive concepts about race and gender. History lesson, in other words. So Idaho, no shocker. Rhode Island, kind of shocked. Iowa, New Hampshire, Arkansas, Missouri, Louisiana, and West Virginia have all introduced similar legislation. Azir Majid, a First Amendment attorney and frequent commentator for First Amendment Watch, sharply criticized these laws in multiple columns. In his writing, Majid argues that these bills threaten the intellectual autonomy of universities and professors, and also warned they will have a chilling effect on important discussions about race and gender, clearly. So they don't want to promote anything that's divisive. But racism...
Yeah, they're the ones who define what the vision is.
But racism is divisive.
Yeah.
How do you correct racism? How do you correct racism? Critical race theory, right? I mean, it seems like so fucking obvious. And I don't know. What's that?
I didn't realize some of these comments are interesting because I'm kind of going from the bottom, but there's a bunch. I didn't know that they went after APUS. So I mean, I took APUS World, whatever, but that's kind of crazy that which is like a very standardized test, right? Very standardized history that you learn. That even that was like considered we're teaching too much about race. I actually did not know that there were like legislators going after some of those AP programs or like I guess just standard college
Basic
programs.
history.
Yeah, standard history programs.
Yeah, even the whitewashed Eurocentric one isn't good enough. They want the absolute white nationalist version of it. That's the only. That's the only thing to make them happy is they have a white nationalist history lesson.
Yeah, I remember they were like going to do the 1776 project rather than the 1619 project.
Right.
I was like, oh boy. Okay.
Wait, what's this?
1776.
From the list.
Talking points. Yeah.
A little to the 1776 number system.
Exactly.
Indeed.
Yep. Yeah, because 1776 is that stupid fucking flag, right? Donald Trump would be the 14th president of the United States. Fucking idiots, man. You'll see in August. You'll see in September.
Oh yeah, they're just gonna
keep
talking
about it. They're like apocalyptic people that keep predicting the end of the world. But then that date comes like
shit. Just very quickly.
It wasn't Tuesday at 3:30, guys. Go home. Yeah. What's this? Ender says 1776. Even my white family had been here a while.
Jeez.
You know what's kind of funny? I would like to do stand-up comedy, but again, like I did stand-up before, but half my shit was so offensive now that like it's bad, right? One of my jokes I was playing with is the idea that playing on this whole they were handing out white privilege. I didn't get any, I was trying to work on this idea of a joke of saying, I did my DNA research, which I did, and this is all facts. Like I drew it back to 1475. Farthest back I can draw, the name Littlefield in direct lineage from my father's side of the family, father to father, generations back, 1475 in some fucking graveyard in England, right? Salisbury, England, where the Stonehenge is at. So apparently my family were druids.
There you go.
That's actually probably true. But the fact that like I could see who crossed the pond, when, and where they went, and so I was trying to make fun of the fact that my family sucks at privilege so bad we're still on welfare. God damn. You got all these privileges and you still fuck up. What a bunch of fucking losers my ancestors have been. Seriously, I was born and raised on fucking welfare. My family sucks at privilege.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, it's like I was thinking about making like a t-shirt for that joke to sell at the back of the club kind of thing back in the day. I was thinking about making a shirt that showed like a food stamp or like an EBT card nowadays, I guess you say for you millennials, that said, sucking at privilege since blah, 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 and have a food stamp, still got it, like
that works.
But I've been trying to find a way to deliver that joke, but it's hard to write a fucking joke, man. It really is. But it's true. My family has been white in the South for a long fucking time. And yet still can't get our shit together with every advantage there is to offer in this patriarchal white nationalist society. We still can't get our shit together. Fucking hell, right? What?
Man.
What? Like one of my jokes back then was that's when you didn't have internet yet. It was like we had genealogy. So you had to pay a genealogist to go through birth records, marriage records, and death records to find your lineage, right? And census records. So one of my jokes was you know, and I did a lot of crowd interaction. Hey, anybody else do the genealogy thing? Yeah, okay, what'd you get? Yeah, what'd you find out? Oh, I'm the fourth removed cousin of Jesse Jackson, or something, right? I'm cousins with so and so. It's always something good. It's always good news, right? They never bring you bad news. So the joke is, I paid a guy $400. He comes back 6 weeks later, the big old packet, and he hands me a packet. And he slaps me on the shoe. He goes, "Congratulations, Mr. Littlefield, you're fourth generation, poor white trash." And he took off running. And I had a marker. I drew a family crest on it. So instead of like lions and like swords crossing with a shield and a suit of armor and like wheat or some shit, like it's always like something they made. It was like their thing, their job, blacksmiths or whatever. I said mine was a fly swatter and a cheese cutter and a thing of Spam, a food stamp, and a Chihuahua humping a foot. You know, like that was our family crest. The white trash trifecta, you know, like I thought that shit's funny.
That's funny.
And it's funny forever.
Oh man.
Like that's the only joke I actually do today that I used to do. Because I used to do a lot of fucked up jokes. And I thought everything was funny. Like I didn't give a shit how it affected anybody back in my 20s. Like body shaming, fat shaming, you name it. I made fun of everything and everybody equally. Right? It didn't matter. But I was more like a Dane Cook kind of shitty.
Okay.
Like snarky humor. Now I consider myself more of a George Carlin type of comedian, like make you think and challenge you. Like I love George Carlin. He is the shit.
Yeah.
You know, like people like Richard Pryor make fun of himself exploding on Freebase. Like that's a funny fucking dude who makes fun of his own problems. You know, like that's funny. It's unique and you can't touch him. Richard Pryor, like, fuck you, bitch. Yeah, I got on fire. Still rich, bitch. You know, like I love Richard Pryor.
One of George Carlin's jokes I always think about is you know, think how stupid the average person is and imagine that, you know, like 50% of people are stupider than that.
It's very fucking true. Yeah.
I think about that like all the time. Like, yeah, that's, you know, like, this is why we need to educate people because it's not good out there.
I know them all. I've actually memorized that whole joke, just so you guys know. It's a shit, piss, fuck, cocksucker, motherfucker, and what was it? Shit, piss, fuck, cocksucker, motherfucker. It's two more. Damn it. I think fuck and motherfucker is part of the joke, where it's like, well, that's actually a derivative of fucker, so you got to drop it off. So da-da-da. Like he actually breaks down language. You know? I love George Carlin, but that's the thing. That's why I like Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is George Carlin.
Yeah.
Just in today's environment, he is surgical, and I was hoping like hell he would show up in New York, but he didn't. There's two people I want to meet in. Jay-Z and Dave Chappelle. I was like, please, John Leguizamo, bring Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, I was going to say John Leguizamo.
Come on, bro. Bring him. But he didn't. And the campaign turned down Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
That's a fucking travesty. That's the word. That he offered to do free concerts to get out the vote.
Oh, like he did in Iowa and South Carolina.
And I heard that, you know, the campaign said that Dave Chappelle is too controversial. I'm like,
but to who?
To who?
Exactly, like to who?
And if you find him controversial, fuck you. Like, simply.
Kind of. Yeah, I don't think I've ever met someone who didn't like Dave Chappelle. Like, I mean, I'm sure they exist.
Well, I will say there is a contingency there. When he did his LGBTQ joke, he pissed off the entire community. So he called it like the alphabet mafia or some shit and whatever. And he said the twos don't like the Q's and the R's don't like the L's, but don't fuck with the threes. You know, like he had all these different little jokes about it, and it really pissed off a lot of people. Okay, hey, Stargazer, how you doing? You aren't a skeptic. Thank you. You're in a cult. Welcome. Actually, two cults. Okay. Yang Gang and wokeness. Stargazer. Here we go. Stargazer. You're part of the problem, my guy. So choke yourself and slap yourself for me. Do yourself a favor. Oh yeah, and fuck you. So anyway, welcome to my stream. Thanks for joining us, Stargazer H. Yeah. It's never good to start off by telling somebody what their identity is. So yeah, fuck you.
Oh man.
I'm from Michigan. I don't give a fuck. Yang Gang and wokeness. You are a fucking idiot, dude. Let's be real. Fucking idiot. Oh my god. Welcome to my stream, motherfucker. This is not a safe space, just so you know, you dumbass. So you can wake your ass up. Yeah. Stargazer, nice name, bro. Fucking pussy.
This is the first time. This is the first time you've seen this person.
That shit cracks me up. Stargazer H. Fucking jerk off L. Get the fuck out of here. I just can't stand people like this. Their life is about taking a name like Stargazer H and coming talking shit like a little bitch. Like, it's just the funniest thing in the world. You have no life, my guy. Get a life, bro. It's a good. You get a life. It's actually fun. Having your own life is actually quite fun. Sorry guys, just had to do my little thing. It's been a while.
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, this is the regular occurrence.
It hasn't been regular for a while. I've been trying to stay positive, but fuck them. You know, Stargazer. Oh, look at I made him laugh. I am a comedian, right?
There you go.
You made me laugh. You're the fucking comedian. But anyway, I hope you enjoy your critical race theory classes when you go to high school, child. Anyway,
oh man.
Yeah, I'll roast motherfuckers. I don't care.
I always find it annoying when like some racist trolls come on our stream, like on Tuesday. Like it hasn't been a while, but sometimes occasionally it happens. And I'm like, dude, you're on YouTube, like the whole YouTube. You can learn anything on this platform right now.
And you come here.
Like, you know, you could just learn how to play guitar. You can learn how to, I don't know, rock climb. But no, you decided to come on here to be racist on like a really small streaming channel.
Yeah.
And hold on. And then get disrespected respectfully and tell you to leave.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fuck that. Please stay. You help my algorithm, you dumbass. They're so dumb, dude. They're so dumb.
To the algorithm.
Oh, we got Twitch in the house. Okay.
Oh yeah, we got some Twitch. That's actually too. We've seen some strange stuff on Twitch sometimes. Not Mish. We love Mish.
Yes, we love.
Look at this guy. He's got like a dude taking a nap or something.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Am I boring you?
Project dreaming. So I guess the person's dreaming.
Are we boring you? But
Twitch?
you're on a Twitch stream with strangers and you're bored, so it's weird, right? But yeah, let's see what Bobby has to say here. I support the ideas behind CRT, but not CRT in its totality. What does that mean? Okay. However, this is not a mountain I'm willing to die on. Good idea. Censorship is, and demonizing Trump and his supporters promotes censorship. Are you saying that CRT teaches that Trump supporters are bad?
Uh-oh.
I'm kind of curious to hear.
Get a Mish.
So saying that critical race theory is saying that Trump supporters are bad because Trump supporters are racist? I'm trying to understand the connection. I don't understand it, Bobby. He says no. Okay. Okay, yeah, this is a dumb fucking troll from Twitch. Great. What the fuck? I want to bring that up. Yeah.
Oh man.
I think there's two thoughts there. Okay, so you're done. How do I kick fucking people out of here? I don't even know.
Yeah, we had to figure that one out for our own selves.
Oh no, I'm not to do it.
Because you're discussing CRT, but also trashing Trump. Yeah, fuck Trump. That's obvious, right? fuck Trump for sure. Now, if you still support Trump, fuck everybody too. Like if you voted for him in 2016, I get it. People make mistakes. But if you still support him now, I got a real fucking problem with you. Like with you as a specific person. If you still support Trump today, I have a very distinct problem with you as an individual. I will stand on that hill. Okay, thank you, Bobby. That clarifies. That's very helpful. But yeah, fuck Trump. And so, like, it's not Trump supporters as a whole I demonize, right? The problem is the ones that still defend him today, that still defend people like Ted Cruz that are fucking bigoted racists. Openly fucking bigoted racists. If you support them, then you are them, then fuck you, whoever you might be that's watching this. If you support those people, you probably ain't gonna be here. Let's be real. Like, you wouldn't come here. This is not a safe space for you. You're gonna go to fucking whatever other apps there are for conservative snowflakes. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But I do not support the demonization. Criticizing him and his supporters are fine. Demonizing him is part of the establishment narrative to divide and conquer opposition views. No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that because demonizing somebody is like you're creating a narrative to dismiss them. This entire genre of people have created their own narrative that I'm pointing out. I didn't create it. I didn't make any of this shit up. So that's kind of how I see it. I'm just not demonizing. I sharded. Yeah, you're a fucking idiot. How about backing up your assertions? Man, fuck off. Fuck off. I back my shit up on the regular. Anyway, so again, this is literally what I'm doing. So when I hear specifically Trump supporters, the MAGA people that are still beating the drum, the QAnon fucking idiots, you know, all that kind of stuff, right? I don't demonize them. I just point out the fucking problems, which is they're racist and they're bigots, and xenophobes. And so I don't agree with that point, Bobby. Yeah, I can't get down with that. These Twitch trolls, these children are actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
People, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's the same fucking turds, man. They crack me up. But again, guys, thanks for feeding the algorithm. You guys are doing great. The more comments you do, it's better. It helps. Thank you. But anyway, guys, yeah, it's 11:46. I got to go to work in the morning. I have a job. Trev says, "I'm back. What did I miss?"
Well, you came back in time for some trolls, so yeah.
People on Twitter commented a lot.
Oh right, they can't see though.
They don't see anybody else. They think it's literally just them two trolls.
Yeah, this is a multi-stream, my guy.
Yeah.
We got Twitter, Periscope,
You
and
guys are
YouTube.
so dumb. You guys are so dumb. It's just funny. Oh man!
I never watched season 2 of One Punch Man, so little side time just reminded me.
So watch One Punch Man on the side.
Oh,
I need to watch it.
Yeah, the first season was hilarious and good, but I haven't seen.
Well, I think I'll make some fun clips on TikTok about the dipshits in here, so that'll be fun. So I make you famous, bitches. You know.
There you go.
But yeah. But I'm serious, guys. TikTok is where some actually great discussions, some great activists are going to be here. I'll be back on Thursdays with a discussion panel, or we'll be doing the news on Thursday again. But tonight and tomorrow, I'm putting out when I was at the Juneteenth thing, they had the panel discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting out like some Q&A section. I'm going to be making some clips of that and shit and putting out there. And I'm not trying to profit off of other people's products that's not monetized. I think I need to be very clear about that too, because I don't like when people record other people's shit and then monetize it. That's not cool. Especially if a guy that looks like me goes to Juneteenth and records their thoughts and profits off it. That's fucked up. I won't do it. So think about that. That's pretty fucked up. If I actually like try to monetize their content on my channel, that's
yeah.
But I had to make sure I uncheck that because it's a default thing, right? So I was like, oh no, no sirree, Bob. That's a landmine right there, you know. But we all have work to do in our own communities, our own ways, and you know, it all starts in our own little bubbles. And so that's why I just would challenge people. That's my call to action: is challenge people around you to think. You know, I hear stupid shit every single day. Like I hear it every single day, and I have to say something. Like I actually just these people are so funny. But yeah, like I have a Black Lives Matter hoodie, and it's got all the names in the fist, you know. And I was at a gas station. The guy's like, "Hey, what you wearing that hoodie for?" I'm like, "Cause it's cold." You know, he's like, "What?" Again, this is a gas station. A gas station. I'm just trying to pump my fucking gas. So this fucking country fuck with his fishing hook and his camouflage hat kind of guy.
Oh man.
And he's like, "Why are you wearing it?" I was like, "Cause it's cold, man." And he's like, "Well, why are you wearing that hoodie?" I was like, I'm not following. Play dumb. He's like, "Well, that one's the Black Lives Matter one." I was like, "Yeah, I bought it. I know what it says, but like, what's your problem with it, And he's like, "Well, why are you wearing it?" I was like, "Huh." I just kind of thought about that, and I clicked my clump up. I stopped. I was like, "Why do you question me about it? Do you have a problem with me?"
Find something.
And he's like, "Well, why is a white guy supporting Black Lives Matter?" And I said, "Well, how dare you assume my identity?" And he's like, and he goes, "You're not white?" I'm like, "I don't know, am I?" And he's like, make them think.
How dare you assume my identity?
Yeah. Right. And those are the kinds of things I like to do. Like little. I call it dropping a turd in the punch bowl kind of moment. It's like, yep, there's a turd in the punch bowl. Any other questions? Type of thing. But I do have people that challenge me on stuff like that. When I wear my math hat, they're like, "Yang gang." They freak out and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna kill this.
Oh,
there. They just drive me nuts. So let's just stop that one on Twitch. There we go. I'm done with those little fucking children. Just drive me nuts. But yeah, like I think it's important for us to challenge people in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Not like I do here, right? That's not constructive in real life. This is fucking YouTube. And fuck Trump, right? So, but like in real world, you gotta have a little more gloves, the gloves on a little bit, and so I just really hope people that look like me will challenge people that look like us, right? That it's on us to fix it. Yeah, but where is the fucking racism?
Oh man,
seriously? Well, again,
I mean, not in the stars.
Hey, this is true too, man. The establishment profits off racism. White supremacy is a real problem. Yeah. That's actually one of the questions I asked at the forum. They had a little panel at the end. They said we're taking questions. He goes, "Anybody got any questions?" And it was like fucking crickets for a second. I'm like, "Ooh, I'm not comfortable with silence." So I was like, "Right here." He's like, "Yes." I'm like, I asked him, I'm like, "How are we going to prevent corporate America from bastardizing this new federal holiday?" And they're like, "Ooh, like those are the kind of questions we have to think about as a collective. Like again, so if you see a Juneteenth T-shirt at Walmart, leave that bitch on the rack. If you really want to celebrate this thing, guys, go to a black-owned business's Instagram and buy one of their shirts for $3 more fucking dollars, right? $3 more fucking dollars. Fuck the shareholders of Walmart. And if you guys that are watching this own shareholders and armors, fuck your investments, right? I don't care. Those investments don't help people.
I'm glad you brought up Walmart. I'm glad you brought up Walmart because I know here at Three Rivers, they had some Juneteenth T-shirts for sale at Meijer. I'm like, ooh, I thought about it. I'm like, ooh, they're selling Juneteenth T-shirts at Walmart. At Meijer, I'm like, should I buy one? I got to thinking about it. I'm like, no, like, why would I do that for? And at the same time, I think Elle told me, I think we had a conversation about this. I'm pretty sure we did. I'm like, the one thing I don't want to happen or see happen is if Juneteenth becomes a federal holiday, that they'll find some way to make a profit out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for the clothing stores. Yeah.
That's something I brought up at that panel. It's like, they're going to wind up like selling Chevy Caprices or some shit. Well, those don't exist anymore. I'm old. A Chevy, what the fuck ever. A Malibu, right? I'm not sure what they make anymore. But they're going to try and sell Teslas for Juneteenth. Come on down for Juneteenth and help celebrate by buying a car. Like, really? That's not what it's about, man. Like, that's what they always do at the LA holiday, right? So we got to curb that shit as far as I'm concerned. So that's something I like to, those types of questions are in my head all the time.
Right. So
that's like
there was a mattress commercial that they were trying to have a sale for 9/11, and they stacked up the mattresses to be like Twin Towers, and then like they jumped into the mattresses to crash them to do like this sale. So I always think about,
is it a reenactment?
I don't know, but it's sad and it's terrible.
Oh, that's hard. That's disrespectful.
Right.
Oh, that's so disrespectful.
So that's a 9/11 reenactment mattress sale.
Exactly.
Wow, that's a strange gimmick.
And
strange gimmick.
Jeez.
I always wonder what kind of tone deaf shit will happen. Because how can you be that tone deaf for 9/11? Like, you were alive when it happened.
I remember when it happened.
Right, like, I really don't think there was any 16-year-old mattress owners, like mattress store owners making this commercial.
That's right. There really is no bottom line.
That's true. So, when it comes to words to racism, you'll see this probably next year when they start doing some tone deaf shit for Juneteenth, where it's like, oh, come down to our bar, it'll be the Underground Railroad of bar hopping. You start here. It'll be some sort of really tone deaf bullshit.
It's Martin Luther King's birthday. Let's start by buying beers on Martin Luther King Drive. And your first 12-pack is free if you buy 6 other 12-packs.
It's free dumb.
Yeah, there we go.
You put the dumb in freedom, folks. I ain't gonna lie. If you choose the option that said "Don't buy from resale big corp, support your general native stores," you'd get it wrong because you are a person of privilege. Shouldn't assume expertise. It's a bunch of garbage. What the? Oh, because it's condescending to oppressed people, and that you shouldn't white-splain. Instead, just agree with what they say and avoid any advice. You realize this is my channel, though, right?
He was saying that this was from a corporate diversity training or something.
Oh, I was like, what the fuck?
And yeah, it was one of his earlier comments. He was saying that was a training module where if you thought the right answer was that you should support like your local native owned or whatever business, apparently that's not right because of that rationale he just gave.
Okay, yeah, that's terrible. I was like, "What? I am confused. I'm like, on my channel, I'm not supposed to give my advice." I was very fucking confused by that. Yeah, sorry guys, I get confused because you guys have a whole conversation going sometimes, and I just can't keep up with both. But yeah, that's being trained. That's an odd one. Yeah, I can understand how that's a little bit of a wait. Oh, okay, Toby. Oh yeah, we can't watch
this one. Yeah, that's fine. It's not necessarily to put up next, but there was like a white guy holding a Black Lives Matter sign in Arkansas. I remember seeing the video only because there was something that was said that triggered something that was in that video where, yeah, I guess someone was like, "Oh yeah," because you said someone was asking you why you're wearing your Black Lives Matter hoodie, boys. And literally, at one point in the video, he was like, "Why are you holding that sign? You're a Caucasian," and he just drives away. And it was
you're a Caucasian.
He's like, you're a Caucasian, and he just drives away. And I was like, can he still hold the sign or not?
I think there was.
I'm gonna find the part in the video.
I actually remember that because there was I think there was a lady on there, and she said, "White lives matter too, don't they?" And then she drives off. I'm like, yeah, but as of right now, it's more black folks getting disenfranchised and neglected and shot and killed more so than the white lives. So it's like, yeah.
Well, I actually had a disagreement again with a stranger about that too, where he said, but all lives matter. I was like, yes, yep, black lives too. We agree. He goes, no, but all lives matter, not just black lives. Like, right, yeah, black lives matter too. And he's like, but no. I don't support Black Lives Matter. That's a racist organization. White Lives Matter. Like, yep, because Black Lives Matter too. Like, that don't make any sense. It's like, it doesn't, right? But it should. It should make perfect sense, but you don't get it. That's why Black Lives Matter exists, because all lives don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I just walked away, and he's like, that don't make any sense. I'm like, yeah, okay. I just walked away. Again, this was at the Meyer in Benton Harbor, Michigan.
Ouch.
Yeah, I was just trying to buy some fucking Cliff Bars. I was buying some fucking Cliff Bars,
Oh, man.
But I do sport my shit a lot in public just to generate some conversations.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do. Actually, dude, I made a fucking sweet thumbnail. I'm gonna show you guys my thumbnail. I'm quite proud of it. Wait, did I use it yet? I think I did. Let me see here. I don't know if I used it or not. Videos. Oh, that's the one I gotta post it tonight. That's what it is.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna show you guys this badass thumbnail I made. It took me a long fucking time too. Kind of sucked, but I got it done. Oh, hails bells. Where'd it go? It's for this discussion panel thumbnail. Sometimes I impress myself. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, okay, no, that's putting in some work there, kid.
There you go.
I'm trying to find this damn thing. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm just there. Okay. There it is. I'll show you guys this motherfucker. None of the Black Lives Matter poster children were killed for being black. I'm going to put your dumb fucking ass back in my mouth. You are the fucking dumbest person on here in a long time. So go fucking look at the stars, you dumb fuck.
So if they weren't killed for being black, then what were they killed for?
And they're not alive. So, yeah.
I mean, obviously.
I just can't entertain this. This is the stupid. I'm not wasting any dumb fuck. I'll put you on timeout all day. I won't block you though, because you'll keep feeding my algorithm. I appreciate it. So check out this thumbnail, guys. How badass is that?
That's nice.
Took me a minute, but I think it's pretty fucking cool. But then the actual speakers that are going to be here, there's the other one, and these are the 4 speakers from the thingamajig here. Kill that. Yeah, so I got a couple of really cool thumbnails coming.
Thanks, Bobby.
That's right, Bobby. And here's the speakers that were on the panel here.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yeah, these guys. So she owns a company in Brooklyn called the Black Tea. I say Black Brooklyn Tea. I'm sorry, that was fucked up. God, that's bad. Yeah, it's called Brooklyn Tea on Instagram. This is Ofo. He owns a business or a nonprofit called Who's Your Landlord?
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yep. So he's the guy that started that. And this guy's named Kenneth Brio or some shit like that. He's just a master fucking businessman. He's like the Brooklyn what's his name that started Fubu? Fuck, I lost his name. Damon.
I know you're talking about.
Damon owns Fubu.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
that's kind of like
Yeah.
that's his vibe, is like he's very fucking smart guy. But these are the 4 people that had this panel discussion, and I'm going to be making stuff on there. It was a really great experience, man. I gotta say. But I gotta say, I had this. I hate to say it. My new favorite food is Indian food. I had the best meal of my life in New York City. It's called Vindaloo lamb or goat.
Oh.
Vindaloo is fire. It's like the spiciest Indian thingy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't.
So
I'm not sure if I've had it, but I mean, I love Indian food too. I always order it from Uber Eats. I don't know if I don't think I've had vindaloo yet.
Yeah, vindaloo is just like there's yada yada, then there's curry, then there's vindaloo, like the heat index. And then when I got it, even the waiter's like, no, you're very spicy. I'm like, bring it. He goes, okay. And then I saw these motherfuckers watching me. They're like, bah, 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 bah. They're just like kind of talking their own thing to themselves. And I was like, what the fuck are they looking at?
Staring at that.
My girlfriend's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I think they're watching me eat this food to see if I'm going to sweat or something. I just kept shoveling that shit in. She's like, they are looking at you. Like, am I being paranoid? I just kept fucking shoveling, man. I was like, man, I am sweating though. I was like, it was hot, but it was like the flavor was there. It wasn't just heat. It was, you know, like I love, like one of my other favorites is just jerk chicken, just flat out jerk chicken and candied plantains. Ho. There's a place in Chicago called the Ja Grill. Woo-wee. Man. Well, yeah. El, you're family's from Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is like the Ja Grill in Chicago is jerk chicken, and they give you like a half a chicken, and the candied plantains and some other shit like rice or something. But I love food, man. I really, really like food. You know, like I don't eat just for fuel. I eat for pleasure. Like I really enjoy food. It's like a mood stabilizer for me. I got a bad day. You give me a bomb ass meal, I'm happy again. You know, like,
sure,
well, your wife's leaving you, man. You eat this fucking curry, bro. You know, woo. You know,
all as well.
I got
my
chicken and rice.
Dancing happy.
That's what my girlfriend always makes fun of me because she says, "You'll eat chicken in any form." I'm like, "Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna have feathers in my next genome." You know, like I love food. But yeah, that's one of my best things I say about New York was the food, man. But I already missed the food. Oh man. Okay, let's entertain Stargazer. You done staring at the stars, brother? You ready? Are you listening? 13% of the country is African American or Black American, right? 80% of the jails are African Black Americans. Please explain that to me without systemic racism. Just you explain it to me. How is that possible? How the fuck is that possible? You tell me that Black people are more prone to violence and illegal activities? Or there's systemic racism. Occam's razors apply here, right? It's obviously the most simple answer is the entire system is set up to arrest a certain people. 3 strikes rule. Thank you, fucking Bill Clinton, you piece of shit, right? I'm a felon that never got caught. There's Black people in this exact same fucking neighborhood that have done the same crimes I have. They got caught. They're felons. And I'm not, just because I didn't get caught, or the cop looked the other way, or a Black person did it at the same time and they got arrested and I did not. Like speeding tickets. It's right in front of you, dude. You drive down the street. You ever notice a lot of Black people pulled over on the side of the road? I do. I notice that shit a lot here. Yeah, so yeah. Oh, here's another question. We do got to end this thing though, guys. It is fucking late 30.
Yeah, I'm starting to like.
I just people like this. Anyway, do you think NYC was not ready for an Asian mayor? I don't think it was that.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think it had as much to do about race as it was when the campaign was about the economy. Yang was at 28%, right? But the economy recovered. People are outside more. What goes up? Crime. It's all about what can you do for me now. Now you got to keep me safe. I trust a cop, Eric Adams, right? And now we have Garcia and Maya Wiley, the progressive. I don't say progressive, but the progressive winger behind them, right? So you have Garcia and them two kind of tying at around 22 and 23%. They have Adams at 30 something percent, like 33% right now on the first place votes that are registered, right? So that has a lot more to do with it than that and his stupid fucking tweet about Israel. That's a bad one. And even I said so. I was like, that's a bad fucking take. Bad fucking take, bro. Don't listen to those fucking Bloomberg dumb shits. And that's the other reason he lost. He wanted to run as a progressive candidate, but he hired a Republican team, right? The fuck, Bloomberg? He ran as a Republican. So that's a bad decision.
Right.
That's how I see it. Is he didn't help himself a couple times with fucking stupid tweets here and there.
Yep.
And he didn't help himself when he picked that team. Now, I understand why some of his logic might have been, I just want to fucking win. Then once I'm in there, I'm going to do some shit. And he thought they've won elections before, but they won it for a fucking Republican. I think it's a bad strategy. He could have had little Yang Gang volunteer to run his entire fucking thing. It would have been for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, let's be real.
And I kind of felt bad for Matt Skidmore. I feel like dude was working double time, just, fixing the gaps.
Yep.
I was like, damn, dude, like, you better be getting paid or something, because this is hard work.
And I'll tell you right now, I know for a fact he 100% made $0 fucking dollars, period. I guarantee you. I know that for a fact.
Jeez. Because, like, I felt
he took money out of his pocket. Just like I did. Took money out of our pockets. We went there. We paid for hotel rooms. I think he did some fundraising with his own people again. But he's not hired by the campaign. He's not paid by the campaign. He's an independent journalist.
Good point about Soju. Well, I didn't know the Stringer thing, but yeah, Adams also tweeted about Israel apparently. But I didn't go. Those people were already like not like the people who would have been mad at Yang for his stuff were never going to support Adams anyway. So like they probably didn't care that Adams, whoever decided to. I mean, people didn't really know who he was outside of maybe Deep Brooklyn. But Yang kind of had this higher profile. People saw him as a more humane guy who, you know, even if he said some things that were like maybe not completely popular, were the right things. Like, hey, maybe we should decriminalize drugs, sex work, like stuff like that during his presidential campaign. So I think it was just a lot of people saw it as a hard pivot to be very politician-y and with that like nuance. You know, I wasn't really on Twitter as much. Like I remember seeing some things in that discussion, but I could not like delve into that whole conversation with Israel and Palestine. But I did see some of the fallout in other ways. And even on Facebook a little bit, there were people in the Facebook like Yang for New York group who were saying some things who was like, I'm not with us, yada yada. But you know.
So I think there's multiple reasons why he lost.
Yes.
I don't think he had of course there are people that aren't ready for an Asian man to be in charge. I get it. There is that, right? But I'm not sure. This is just my opinion. I have no data to back this up. It's Boyce's opinion that I don't think his ethnicity had as much to do with it as stupid fucking tweets, doubling down in Israel, and backtracking on Israel. So it made him look wishy-washy. Hired Bloomberg people. So it looks like he's being wishy-washy, you know. So they through his choices, they manipulated his campaign in a negative way, and his Latino outreach was not that great. That's what I saw on the ground when I was in the Bronx in Brooklyn. Okay, mostly the Bronx. There's a large Latino community in the Bronx.
I know, like really Yang was saying about like the mental health was kind of like, you know, people with mental illness.
Yeah.
I don't know, like what he was saying was very cringe. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. They have rights, but so do we. You know, I know.
Yeah.
And it's New York, man. They ran 8 ads to 1 negative on him. 8 to 1. So another fun statistic I found. 8 attack ads to 1 positive ad in the New York media specifically. And I was there, and the motherfuckers were coming for him. Every place we went, they were there. And he's like, what's his name? Conrad was like, Conrad, we got time. He's like, 2 questions, 1 from you, 1 for you. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, we don't want to say. He says, I said 2 questions. Let's go. Like, fuck you guys, man. You're talking shit about us. We're not gonna give you shit to work with, you know. They were coming for him with some really, you know, landmines of questions type of thing, trying to get the gotcha questions in there. Yeah, man. He's the front runner, so they came at him. But then he wasn't a front runner, and they kept coming at him, you know, like But anyway, yeah, guys, let's go ahead and kill it. It's been 3 hours of fun, love, and excitement, and a little bit of anger here and there. I feel cathartic and a little therapy session. Thank you. Oh yeah, and by the way, guys, your anger is a gift. I love this fucking Rage Against the Machine, baby. Use your anger in a positive way, just like I did. Was that fun? It was not fun or creative or constructive, but nonetheless.
But it was still fun. At the end, it was still fun.
Yeah. Motherfucker, you in my house. You don't have to come here. If you don't like what I say, click that little fucking button and piss off, you know? Yeah. But yeah, I agree, Elizabeth. The Asian hate was real, but that fucking racist cartoon shit was fucked up. And they tried to sweep that on the rug as fast as they could. And the artist doubled down on it.
Yeah, I know.
Trust me. There's some fucking, of course, there is a fraction of that, but I think that is minors in comparison to the other reasoning to me.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's what I heard on the ground canvassing. I was there for just under a week. I was there for 7 days, but 1 whole day is just travel. So that's what I witnessed on the ground. It was more about safety because of the homeless people and the mental illness on the subways. Holy shit. It is wild. Wild. I thought this one motherfucker was dead. Just laying there lifeless on a nasty sidewalk. Shirts half up over his stomach. Motherfucker just laying there. He got no shoes on. and I'm just like, is this motherfucker dead? You know, and then he kind of made a little movement. I'm like, but he could be dead, dying, or going through an overdose. I don't know, or just taking a fucking nap. Because that shit happens on the sidewalks, right? So that's the worst part about New York is just that it's just horrible. It's just sad. I love the city, but it's depressing at the same time. And you walk by about 100 people just to go get dinner that are homeless. I mean, it is really that bad. It really is. I think of like 40,000 homeless people in New York. 40,000. 40,000
in the city that I live in.
Right. Well, if you know, like Ron, you know, Kalamazoo has about 80,000.
Yes.
So if half of Kalamazoo was homeless, like think about that.
and mind you guys, Kalamazoo is not big. It's really not big. It's bigger than Three Rivers, but in comparison to Detroit, it's not big at all.
But 40,000 people live on the physical sidewalks. It is sad, man.
So they're not even like sleeping on people's couches, homeless. They're
the ones you see on the street.
Wow.
Yeah, it really was. It's sad, man.
Yeah.
But I'd say one thumb up, one thumb down. You know, New York was cool, but the homelessness and the stuff is, you know, pretty scary. It really was. We didn't go out past midnight. I'll tell you that much. On the subway because it got sketchy. It got sketchy, man. But you know, my girlfriend, she's very nervous around that type of stuff. So I would just say, you stand on this side of me. This person's gonna be here, and I got my where you go? I don't got it. I have like a little tripod with a metal mount at the end of it. So I had that in my right hand. I was like, keep on my left shoulder, so somebody just whack if I have to, you know. I'm prepared in a position to defend myself at all times.
There you go.
Smart you traveled in groups.
But what's that?
That's smart that you traveled in groups like that.
Well, it was just me and her. We were a group of two.
I thought you had another guy with you who was on your other side.
No, just me and her. So I'd have her walk closest to the building. I'd be closest to the street. Or if the person's on the right, like in the street edge, I'd put her towards the other side.
Okay, I see it.
I just had my tripod in my hand at all times, just in case I had to whack somebody.
There you go. Whack-a-mole. Man.
A couple times I thought, am I going to have to hit this motherfucker? You know, like, I didn't want to. But some people are aggressive, man. I'm hate, man. Back the fuck up.
Chicago subway conversation, and how you had to watch yourself there. So,
yeah, it's tough, man. But here's the thing about New York too. I noticed when we was in Times Square, it's legal to possess marijuana, but it's not legal to sell it. But you wouldn't notice that at Times Square. Let me tell you, the cops don't give zero fucks about who's selling. They had a van come up that said "weed van."
It's so weird. New York really is legal.
It's not legal to sell. They just legalized possession.
Okay.
They decriminalized possession. I'm sorry. They didn't legalize it to sell. Not like in Michigan, we have businesses. They don't have that yet. They're working towards that. But they had a van pull up with like edibles and shit. And there's people on the side. Yo, son, you want some of the best weed? I'm like, no, I'm good. You know, I gotta keep moving. I gotta keep my job when I go back home, man. Don't blow that shit in my face. I think about a contact buzz walking down this one spot. I was like, wow, that's a lot of weed. But still fun. I'd go back, you know, for sure I'd go back. But
I'm thinking about visiting New York. My friends are tempting me.
There's an Indian joint a block away from Penn Station bus depot or train depot, subway, whatever. It's off of 8th Avenue and 35th Street. That's all I got to say. It's right there in the corner. And then right next to it is a Peruvian place that's pretty damn good too. And next to that is a bagel place for breakfast. It's got some bomb-ass bagels. It's a great spot we was in. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That was
there
really
you
good.
go.
That's the first day we was there. We did that. We got bagels for breakfast. I got lunch at the Peruvian spot. Went to the Indian place that night. That's the first night we was there. That's the last place we went when we left, too, is that Indian place again. I was like, I got to do that again. That was outstanding. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and kill. I can talk about food all fucking night.
Right.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yes, thank you.
It's been a while since I talked to you guys. We still got to delve back around. I want to. What was else we going to talk about? I was supposed to come on your guys' channel for something. What was it?
Talk about mixed race,
Yes.
family,
raising children.
Yes.
Right.
Definitely. Yeah,
Yes.
let's let that shit up. Now that Yang's done, let's focus on making content again. You know.
Boom.
Bam.
I'm all for it.
All right, guys. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us, man. It's been a 3-hour marathon, if you will. Appreciate you guys, man. Take it easy.